the number that I don't know off the top of my head, but it's listed on our streaming service. Kuz, can you give that to me, please?
904-362-9901.
I mean, you think I would know it by now, right? I see it every single day, but I really don't. But yeah, obviously we want to hear from you guys. Biggest advice that your dad, or I guess the best advice that your dad gave you in honor of Father's Day. Kuz, how we doing today, man?
Doing good.
I'll tell you what, it felt great to come in the studio today like an adult with a key card, like a member of the team, like a member of the Cox Media staff, and I actually just put up my badge, swiped it, and I got in the door, man. First time in 4 months now, I believe. So,
I was thinking about that. I was a little worried it wasn't going to work and we'd have a problem.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, I showed up at the very last second still because Brent Martineau's starting to wear off on me a little bit.
Well, and I thought about it earlier today. I was like, oh, we never tested Austin's card to make sure it works. Like yesterday, we never tried.
That's a good point as well. Yeah,
we probably should have done that.
Well, spoiler alert, it works just fine. So thank you for concerning yourself with that. But we're going to have a great show today. A lot of interesting talking points. It's Juneteenth as well, so I got a pretty cool story to share. A story that everybody should probably know, but they don't know the background to it, let's just say. So I'm going to say that for a little bit later. Twitter is ablaze right now with gender-bending quarterbacks. Kuz, have you seen that yet? Yeah, so usually what I would do if I had the show by myself is I would obviously prep for it, and I would do my homework and things like that. Didn't really do that today because I came across an interesting thread regarding some guy, and I guess there's an app out there's some kind of filter where all they do is they take guys and they make them into girls. And I think you can take girls and make them into guys.
Oh, this is that Minshew post.
It's the Minshew post.
Oh, okay.
Right? So last night before I'm getting ready to go to bed and I'm just doing a little homework and everything, I come across a Big Cat Country picture. And it's of Gardner Minshew rocking long hair. And didn't really know the context of it, thought it was funny. So I'm like, well, me being the guy that I am, I have to comment on this. This is right up my alley. I mean, yeah, I can sit here and talk about the 3-4, 4-3 defense. Still don't really know where that's going to go yet. May never know. I guess we'll find out preseason game number 1 or maybe week 1 of the regular season. So there's only so much expertise I can involve myself with in terms of football. And let's be honest. When you're talking about me and expertise, it's a fine line right now to maybe a little more of a casual type of behavior, a little casual type of demeanor. So with that being said, Big Cat Country just posts a picture of Gardner Minshew with long hair and the phrase no. And that's all it was. I looked at it, absolutely laughed my butt off because of it. And I'm like, I need to contribute something to this. This is too genius. Once again, didn't know the context, but it's too genius not to get involved in this. So I casually, off the top of my head, I'm like, what does Gardner Minshew look like? Because, Kuz, you've known him for a while now, man. And, I love ripping people, in terms of their style, in terms of their haircuts, things like that. Now, to be fair, I don't like to get ripped on, okay? And I'm probably short-tempered when it comes to getting ripped on, and I'll probably throw a fit. Not saying that's right, just saying that's the way it is. But I make it a habit of, to at least, especially people that I like, it's something we did as kids. In high school, me and my friends would hang out together, and you would have thought that, are you guys actually friends? I mean, I've had mothers come up to me before, now that we're in college or now that we're, graduating and everything like that, and they're like, hey, were you guys actually friends in high school? Because you're really mean to each other. We were bestest of friends. It was just the fact that that's what your friends do, where you rip each other on shirts, your style, your attitude. That's what you do. And don't get it twisted. We were an equal opportunity roaster, okay? It didn't matter if it was guys or girls. We ripped everybody. And guess what? Girls ripped everybody too. Girls, I heard some of the best roasts, some of the best comebacks come from girls in my high school. So shout out to the girls as well. But what I'm trying to get at here is, so I see this picture of Gardner Minshew in long hair. And obviously, it's a gender-bending whatever app, and I'm like, I have to comment on it. So my comment was, Minshew looks like every 40-year-old divorcee that you would see at Central Wisconsin, that you would see at a Central Wisconsin dive bar that's there for dollar tappers, and to next play, you shook me all night long on touch tunes. Now, I got a lot of crap for saying that because that's really specific. That's really so is there a story you want to tell, Austin?
Specific.
Oh, it was very specific. Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing, though. It's not specific. In Central Wisconsin, that's just a way of life. In Central Wisconsin, and listen, I know our audience here is here in Jacksonville, but we have a decent fan base here in Central Wisconsin. I guarantee right now in Central Wisconsin, if there's a lady by the ages of 30 to 55 that's listening to the show right now, she has played Shook Me All Night Long at least once on the Touch Tunes and probably next played it as well, okay? So it's not far-fetched. It's just an everyday kind of thing. And I'm hoping that when we get a chance to go back to Wisconsin for the Jaguars-Packers game in November, I'm going to introduce Brent Martineau to that lifestyle, man, okay? Because it's different than Jack's Beach. Because I'm talking to you, man. You guys were spoiled here in Jacksonville, okay? You guys were spoiled in Flagler because you had the beaches and everything. You had options. I'm sure you guys had great fake IDs or that kind of thing. Whatever the case was, you guys had options. Central Wisconsin, you got about 5 dive bars, and it's winter about 9 months out of the year, okay? So every girl is going to be rocking a Carhartt hoodie, a Carhartt hat, and probably some bibs because she's snowmobiling. That's just the way it is, man. That's just how we grew up. So, no, it wasn't specific. It wasn't, like, out of the ordinary. That's just every day in the life of somebody in Central Wisconsin. So with that being said, I go on Twitter this morning then. And I find out that some dude, and I want to give him credit here because he's earned it, KD at not KDK3 at Twitter. Now, name's a little whatever. Well, that's fine.
Confusing, but yeah.
Very confusing. But this dude made a whole thread. And once again, Kuz, is it an app? Or, like, how do you do this?
There are apps that let you do it. I mean, like Snapchat and stuff like that, they have filters that just make you look younger. They can make you look like a girl, stuff like that. Okay, well, whatever this was, I mean, it looks great. Like, all these quarterbacks they're insane. So, I find out that this guy did all these NFL quarterbacks, starting NFL quarterbacks. And I'm like, dude, I got to get in on this. Because to me, it's the perfect storm. I can sit here and I can roast each one of these, female quarterbacks because they're not real. Okay, like, the last thing I want to do to, especially complete strangers, is roast somebody, right? Because I understand everyone has feelings, and I don't want to come across as a bad person. So literally all I'm doing is it'd be like me roasting like Disney characters. These people don't exist, right? They're through an app. They're through a filter. So I'm like, what a better way for me to express my skill set in roasting people than to take this guy's thread of NFL quarterbacks as women and use it to my own devices. And that's what I did. So instead of researching for the show today, instead of, doing my homework, sending you things that we can talk about, I literally spent about 45 minutes creating a thread. By the way, my very first thread on Twitter, I created a thread of every NFL quarterback as a woman and what I thought about it, my first impressions. Even so much where we made it a family affair. My wife was trying to do homework on the couch. I'm like, hey, babe, this one look good? All right, cool. She okayed that one. That one's funny, okay? And it was just random. No, I'm not going to lie, Kuz. 32 quarterbacks, okay? It's a lot of roasting. I got to about 19, and I was losing wind, okay? I was out of it. You start running out of steam a little bit.
Oh, I lost steam.
We used to, just for our basketball podcast, we used to do episodes at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season, where we would dive into, let's do every team, what they need, what they address this offseason, and go forward. It's like 4 things, right? Mm-hmm. We have to get 4 things for every team. And to be honest, once you get towards the bottom with, the Knicks, you're like, okay, I'm just going to, I'm going to hone this one in. It sounds bad, but...
Well, that's exactly what I went through, man. I was like, man, they all start to look the same after a while. No offense to the fake ladies out there that are on the NFL quarterback thread, but I'm not going to lie, dude. Josh Allen came out. I'm not talking about the Josh Allen here, a.k.a. the better Josh Allen in Jacksonville. I'm talking about the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And I saw his picture, and I'm like, you know what? I have a resurgence. I have a B12 shot. I can finish this because Josh Allen, and as I put in the picture, and you guys can go on my Twitter thread here. It's A_train_92. Josh Allen looks exactly like a female basketball coach, a college coach who's upset with the media right now. Just check it out because you got some free time. That's exactly what he looks like. So that was literally my whole day where went to the gym, trained some people, obviously, in the boxing gym, got my own workout in, came home.
Question, weird random question.
Yeah.
Someone submitted in. Clayton wants to know if you were, for your gym, were you running on Southside today?
I was, yeah. Hey, who's that, Clayton?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's up, Clayton? Yeah, dude, so I was getting my 5 miles in today. Ended up getting 5.25 miles in about 60 minutes. Not going to lie, not my best showing. Hotter than a pistol out there, Kuz. Hotter than a pistol out there,
supposed to be
Jay.
hot this weekend.
I know, man. Well, I'll tell you what, it's the humidity. It ain't really the heat, the humidity, man. And yeah, did I have my shirt off? Maybe. Okay, and I'm not flexing on anybody. I had my heart rate monitor on. I'm just saying, and you know how much I sweat.
We need to
go on. What?
Brent's not here, so we need to go full on like Dan Le Batard show a little bit right now and put out a poll. Running with your shirt off, flexing or not flexing?
I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who hates to do their laundry, it's not a flex at all. Like
that's fair.
This is me being lazy and saying, you know what? Because if you saw me, I had a pair of like old beat up gym shorts that I never wear in public, but running it's fine because I'm gonna sweat in them. So like the way I think about it is when I'm going for runs, Kuz, the shirt's not gonna be on there. Okay, and then once again, it's not to show off the tattoos, not to show off the physique, because I really don't care about that.
But overall,
it's to save me an athletic shirt down the line when I have to go to the gym and train.
But overall, as a whole, running with your shirt off comes off as a flex. And I think people, it sounds bad, but I think depending on the physique of the person, people are either whatever with it or they are not okay with it at all.
See, but the way I look at it is, dude, if you're running, man, and you're working out, then take your shirt off. Because you know why? Because you're trying to make progress. And that's all I care about. So, like, I'm not one of these guys who's at the gym, you know, it's like, oh, what does this dude wear? And, like, pull, you know, those shorts are way too short. Or, like, could you wear any tighter of a shirt? Like, maybe I'll crack a joke about it. But I honestly don't care. I mean, as long as you're making the effort to improve yourself, dude, you do you. But I will say this, though, okay? Because there is a flex out there, Kuz, when it comes down to running, okay? And this happens in Jacksonville all the time, too. Sometimes I do wear a shirt. Okay, and let's go ahead and Mayor Lenny Curry, I understand you got a plate full of stuff going on right now. You got COVID-19. You got the RNC coming in. I'm sure it's a crazy day right now to be a mayor. Don't want to make your job any harder. But if we could do two things, it would be fantastic. Number one, I've talked about before on the show. Obviously, when we're talking about lottery tickets, Kuz, we're talking about how there should be a time throughout the day where people who want to buy lottery tickets can come in to the gas station and buy them, okay, or have their own line. Because the last thing I want to do at 9 o'clock in the morning as I'm trying to fill up my car, take my son to school, is wait behind a line of 20 geriatrics because they have to get their lottery tickets in. And by all means, please take your sweet time too when you're doing it, okay? That's my first rule. Second rule, though, if it's below 60 degrees, especially in Jacksonville or in Florida in general, you have to wear a shirt when you're running, okay? Guys, I'm talking to you, okay? Because then it defeats the purpose, right? Like,
if it's hot, we can understand.
Yeah, exactly. If it's chilly outside, and like I've been outside when it's chilly, then I'll wear a shirt. I mean, I'll even wear a hoodie, Kuz. Who knows? Maybe we'll keep it interesting. But I'm saying if there's not a bead of sweat on your body, put the shirt back on, okay? Like if I'm a police officer and I see somebody running without a shirt and they're not sweating, shirt's back on. Simple as that. Because you know why? You're not working out and it's not hot enough outside, okay? So simple as that. That's the new rule for Lenny Curry. Hope he hears my prayers.
We're really going to go off topic here, but the other
what else
thing,
is new?
The other gym thing in quotation marks that I don't get is the gym hoodie. And maybe you can explain it to me because I think I've seen you wear it before.
Gym hoodie.
It's the hoodie, but without sleeves, or it's like cut all the way. Like I don't get it.
So okay,
I don't get it.
Yes, I have worn it before.
Okay.
I've worn it many times to the YMCA, Kuz. Okay, maybe made popular by Bill Belichick. Not sure who started. One could say actually Mike Tyson started rocking it. You know, well, Mike Tyson used to be like a towel he used to cut out, but then he used to rock a hoodie with the sleeves cut off as well. To me, it's just. It's a swag thing, man, more than anything. Because like football players do this all the time as well. Now it wasn't that big when I was in the locker rooms, but like I've seen like Leonard Fournette rock that. I've seen a lot of guys rock like the sleeveless hoodie. I think Marcus Pollard actually, the Jaguars pro personnel guy. I think he rocks the sleeveless hoodie sometimes too as well. It's just a style thing, man. Okay, it's just a style thing. It makes you feel a little more jacked, right? Because it's bulky, but then you show off the guns a little bit. So the sleeveless hoodie doesn't make any sense at all, and I get that. And if you want to make fun of me for wearing one of those, I completely understand. But it's just what we do, man. It's all good. I remember when I played for the Jacksonville Giants, right, that game, they gave me a hoodie. Well, I'm like, well, dude, I'm taking this 100% serious. So I'm going to treat this warm-up like it's the NBA Finals, right? Took the scissors, cut off the sleeves, and I had a sleeveless hoodie. And everyone's like, dude, where'd you get that from? I'm like, oh, no, I did it myself. Because like all the other players are like, that looks pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, man. You should try it.
That's the new thing.
You should try it, man. You should try it. So, but hey, I get we're going off the rails really to start the show off today. And not really my fault, right? Because Brent Martineau, and it's kind of a weird dynamic on our show because Brent's obviously the leader. He's the team captain. He rocks the C. He's the boss. And usually when he goes out of town, you know, he kind of sets up some stuff for us. Obviously, if it's interviews, if it's like a celebration day. I think a couple weeks ago we celebrated. Actually, it was the Jacksonville Giants Day here in Jacksonville. So I had that to kind of, you know, move the show along a little bit. But now Brent's on vacation. It's just me and you, Kuz, and let's be honest, we're like two kids in high school right now where he left us $100 and said, don't burn the house down, you know? And that's our lunch and that's our dinner, and we'll see what happens. So you guys are going to have me for the next couple of days. Hopefully it works out well, but we do have some football stuff to talk about as well, and we have some topics to come up. We talked about Dr. Fauci a little bit, Kuz, you know, and I don't think we really got on it as much as we should have yesterday because – for whatever reason, Dr. Fauci is like the end-all, be-all guy right now of COVID-19 talk, right? It seems like he's the guy that says something and we all tune in and listen. He's almost like the Joe Rogan right now of doctors in terms of, all right, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure how he got that role. I mean, obviously, he worked for a while with Donald Trump, and he kind of gave the COVID-19 updates. I think they had a falling out. I know they've been incommunicated for like the past 3 or 4 days or so. And now, obviously, Donald Trump has gone on Twitter and then kind of spoke out against Dr. Fauci. But for whatever reason, Dr. Fauci is the guy that says, you know, what's rolling. And he's been very adamant about the NFL season. And he's been the guy that says, listen, as far as the bubble is concerned in NFL, it's not going to be able to work. And once again, I'm not sure what makes Dr. Fauci so much more qualified than everybody else. I think if it was me, I think if I was Roger Goodell, I think if I was a commissioner, a CEO, anybody of a major business, I would want to get like a group of doctors together and kind of get all their opinions, right? Because right now we're just going off of what one guy says. And for whatever reason, that one guy is the guy to hear right now. So when we talk about the NFL and what's going to happen, when we talked about it yesterday a little bit, I believe there was 15 Texas Longhorns players that, you know, in the past couple days have contracted COVID-19. I just saw an article today saying that 5 Philadelphia Phillies players and 3 staff members have come down with COVID-19. Keep in mind, MLB trying to start back up. Now we have baseball players getting it. I'm having a really hard time. And listen, I need football, okay? I don't want football. I need football. And when you need something, that's a responsibility. I need football for fantasy football purposes. I need football so I have stuff to talk about. And obviously, I need football because it's important to me, man. I love watching the game. Now, I get it. There's things that are bigger than sports. And I'll never not say that. And I understand that completely. But right now, I think where we are as a country, with everything going on, football still feels like the only constant, right? Because baseball feels different, obviously. The NBA is going to feel different. The NHL, I have no idea what's going on with the NHL right now. We haven't talked to NHL in like a fortnight. Not sure what's going on with the NHL. They said they're starting back up. We'll see with that. But like football right now is the only constant that we have going for us. And regardless of what we hear with the Texas Longhorns, regardless of what we hear with NFL coaches coming down with it, regardless of what we hear where they're going to say, okay, well, we have to make sure everyone in that locker room is 6 feet apart. Regardless of all that, I think right now, me and football fans everywhere out there are thinking, okay, I'll read all this stuff, but football's not going anywhere. Football is way too big to fail. And I want to believe that. And I want to be on that side. But the more you look into this stuff, it's like I've been saying, Kuz, I think either two things have to happen, realistically. Either you have to have some kind of cure or some kind of vaccine that's going to combat this thing, or you have to stop the perception of what you think of COVID-19 when you get it, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do by any means, but I'm just saying, obviously, if an athlete contracts it, 99.99% is they're going to be okay eventually, right? You do the whole quarantine process, you're left to your own devices, and then you come back when you're ready to roll. And I get that. But people are crazy if you think that locker rooms in the NFL aren't going to contract this thing. okay? And I understand. We're still weeks away from training camp starting, and we're even more weeks away from the NFL regular season and from college football. My biggest hope right now is that the commissioner and the universities and the NCAA and everyone associated with football, and I'm talking the high-ranking positions, they do have plans in place, okay? I hope they do have plans in place. I hope if a team of 20 guys gets it, whether it's the NFL or college football, then you know exactly what to do, not only for that team, but the whole sport in general. I hope those protocols are put in place. Because the last thing I want to see, and let's be honest, if you're college football right now, if you're the NFL, there are no excuses. You're in a hard situation right now because you don't know all the information. And the hardest thing in life is the unknown. There's a lot of unknown right now of, hey, what's going to happen in 2 weeks? Will there be another curve? Will there be another rise? Will there be a vaccine? We don't know any of these questions right now, okay? We think we do. We go to analytics sometimes, but we're not 100% certain, and that's rough. But where this is going to fall on college football and the NFL is if you guys aren't ready for this, and if you guys even show an inkling of nervousness, an inkling of, you know what, we don't know what we're doing, we're going to fly by the seat of our pants, you're going to get roasted, man, okay? And it's going to put a black eye on the sport. Now, once again, I'll say this until the cows come home. College football, the NFL, it's way too big to die, okay? And like Brent Martineau said yesterday, the NFL is almost to a point now where it can't get any bigger, right? You're playing games in London. You're probably not going to ever have a team in London. You're not going to have a team in Mexico City. I know you're trying to make it global, but how much can the NFL grow from here? Obviously, as the players get faster, obviously as the quarterbacks get even more skilled, sure, there's some room for growth there. But overall, the NFL is king, and I think the ceiling can only go so high, right? And maybe the same thing at college football. And one could argue with college football, well, attendance is down, obviously. It seems like students would rather sit at home and watch it than go tailgate. So, you know, with college football, there's maybe some room for growth there. But I'm putting all the football into one category. And right now, I'm just saying, if there aren't protocols and if there isn't everybody on the same page, because I guess the reason why I'm so passionate about this, Kuz, is because this is what I foresee happening. And this is what I don't want to see happen, but it seems logical. I think that a team's going to contract COVID-19. And when I say a team, I'm saying 25 to 30 guys during the regular season. Okay?
This is for NFL or college?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Pick your poison right now.
The Jags.
And, yeah, it's good. The Jags, exactly. Well, you know what then? Hey, Todd Wash, 3-4 defense, let's go. I'm 245 pounds. I was running today on Southside Boulevard. My shirt was off. I look good. Now, didn't look as good as
Clayton can back you up
Chase
on that.
on. Hey, by the way, did you see Chase on's Twitter picture?
No.
We'll get into that later. Hey, what are college kids on these days? That dude is Juice City. No, just kidding. No, I mean, he's jacked up.
Yeah, no, I got you.
It looked good. Yeah, I didn't want to have any kind of preconceived connotations there. But my point here, though, Kuz, is if you guys aren't ready for the worst, and if you're not ready for the worst possible outcome, the worst possible scenario, well, then it's going to leave a black eye on the league because the NFL has always kind of been the gold standard of how things, I guess, are ran in professional sports. Now, don't get me wrong, the NBA you could say is that, but the NFL is still the most popular, okay? The NFL is constantly growing. That's the constant. And I'm just worried that a team's going to come down with it once again, whether it's NCAA or the NFL, and we're going to be left wondering, well, what do we do now? Who's in charge? What should we do? And once again, I don't have the answers, and I'm not sure what the answer would even be. My biggest concern, though, is that they have to have these protocols in line. We don't hear about them in social media. I don't hear about them in the media in general. I don't hear behind closed doors. I just hope that those protocols are out there. Because if you're NFL or college football and you're left wondering, what do we do now? It's going to be a black eye for not only sports in general, but also your leagues.
Well, and that's why I think with the NBA specifically with their bubble, I know Brent was critical of the timeline of it and how far away it still is, but I think that's so they can make sure everything's straightened out. Well, I mean, we're talking about a ring, which, by the way, I have to buy one eventually for my wedding. That thing looks nice. I'm like, cool, I can get a ring, and it'll actually serve a purpose other than, you know, proving my loyalty.
Yeah.
But
well, and with that ring, and I'm so upset that Kyle Kuzma beat me to the punch because I was going to, as soon as I saw that ring yesterday, You want to talk about the NBA keeping tabs on its players? Listen, whether it's a Fitbit, an iWatch, all these things have GPS systems.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me a ring in the NBA that can track when you're going to get COVID, all your levels and all that stuff, doesn't tell you where the player's location is?
To be fair, can't they do that through their phones anyway? Like if they wanted to?
First of all, what kind of... Excuse me?
I just feel like phones already, you know what I mean?
Hey, is something you want to talk about here? I mean, are you one of those truthers where it's like you're worried about the government watching your stuff?
No, well, yeah, I mean,
okay,
hey,
well,
listen,
I mean, yeah.
There's something to that, I think.
There's a reason why I don't use the face scan. No, I actually do use the face scan.
By the way, when you're wearing the mask, it doesn't work, which is more infuriating than anything.
That's a good point. Listen, those rings, man, listen. Good. I guess, I mean, once again, we have to find out who makes those rings and buy stock because you think in the next couple of years, everyone's going to have one of those rings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And part of me was thinking like if the players want to like somehow flip a profit, like I was wondering if they're going to be like team engraved, or I saw someone Photoshop it to be purple and yellow like a Lakers one, and then it had the Lakers logo like etched in, and I was like, that would be so cool. I would love a Sixers one. And like, could you imagine 10 years down the line, you know, the Sixers have their dynasty. They won 6 in a row. And, you know, Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid's like, hey, by the way, that one season when we had to play a weird Orlando bubble, I'm selling my ring from that. How much money do you think that thing would go for?
I mean... Name your price, man.
Well, the other problem is, like, at that point, how much information did it store? Because he might actually not...
Well, yeah, and now we're talking social security numbers, blood types, things like that, all in that ring. Listen, I'm glad Kyle Kuzma brought it up because he's obviously he's the voice of concern in the NBA. Obviously carries a lot more weight than I do, especially in the NBA realms. So I'm glad Kuzma brought it up. But, dude, as soon as those rings drop, that's the first thing that I thought of. I'm like, well... The NBA has put up a hotline where you can snitch on NBA players if they're not in their bubble. What a better way to keep tabs on players than have them wear the ring.
My understanding with the way the coronavirus alert works, right, is if somebody has it or something like that, I think, and you're in like a proximity of them, then your rings are like, yo, hey, be careful. So how awful would it be if like two guys...
like some Pokemon Go stuff.
Two guys like snuck out to a bar or something and they happen to be at the same bar too close to each other and their ring pings?
Man.
What he's going to tell on them?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, listen, and back to the whole bubble thing again, and you guys can say that I'm crazy because I remember when I first brought this up, no one was buying into it, but now we're starting to see a little more of NBA players speaking out. You're absolutely out of your mind if you don't think these NBA players are going to go out of that bubble. Okay? You're lying to yourself. Yeah, it's cool. Listen, I mean, they have exclusive movies. They can watch Black Widow before anybody else can. I want to watch Black Widow. I know, right? Hopefully one of them streams it or something like that and puts it on the black market. Black Widow on the black market. Now we're talking. So hopefully I can watch that movie before it gets to theaters. I'm just kidding. Bootlegging movies is obviously illegal, and we don't support that here at ESPN690. But Kyle Kuzma, give me a call if you do that. But so you got the free movies, man. You got the haircuts. You have the manicures, the pedicures. You have everything that you could need. But you don't have the feeling of freedom, okay? And I'm a big component of this. Like, for instance, who was the dude that was crying, the celebrity that was crying because he was on pandemic? He was in quarantine. Sam Smith, right?
Oh, Sam Smith was crying?
So Sam Smith, very popular singer, right? We used to rock him in the locker room. That song Closure, we used to rock him in the locker room for Bears camp. Oh, yeah, that was a good song, man. It was him and some other DJ. Disclosure, yeah. Great song. Everyone loved it. And you know what? You want to talk about coming together? All races love that song, okay? Because it's got a little bit for everybody. So Sam Smith's a big deal. Sam Smith was crying because he was quarantined in his house. Sam Smith's almost a billionaire. And you mean to tell me at your billionaire house, you're bored in it? So this is my point. If you're in a bubble, no matter how cool it is, for 2 months, 3 months, depending on how well you do in the playoffs, you're going to get bored. You want to go out and venture out a little more. Because you're going to go on your cell phone and see these families at Disney having a great time, eating those giant turkey legs, doing whatever that they do, doing whatever families do at Disney. Because I haven't done it yet, okay? One day, I'll take my son to Disney, and it'll be fun.
A lot of being stressed out is involved.
A lot of being stressed out. Probably a lot of basic beverages being consumed, am I right?
Yeah, there's a good slushy drink in the Avatar world.
Okay.
You probably like that. Hit it up. It's like a margarita kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to write that information down for me. Okay, fantastic. But just my point is, listen, don't be shocked if you hear a player gets out. And I wonder what the repercussions are going to be if he indeed does.
It's got to be a lot, right?
You think so?
I think they've said what some of them would be. I don't have them up at the moment, but I think it's pretty hefty. I mean, because that right there, a player going out.
Yeah.
If they somehow get the virus and sneak back in, and the virus gets in the bubble.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in a bubble with the virus, and it's going to spread quickly in theory.
I'm just saying though, and I get it. LeBron James is focused, right? He's got to win another ring. He's got to be considered the GOAT. I get that. But if LeBron James sneaks out to go grab one of those turkey legs at Universal Studios, all right? He's got a hankering for it, comes back, and all of a sudden the NBA guys are like, oh, LeBron, I'm sorry, but he can't play anymore. Come on, man. They're going to put it underneath the rug and be like, all right, well, just one more time. The next time we'll get those turkey legs catered to you. It's fine.
I'm telling you, if LeBron wins this year, this year will be used against him because it's not a full actual NBA year.
That's probably. I think
it's going to be used against any winner. Yeah. Like the opposite. Like if it's the Bucks, then Lakers fans will use it.
No. Because if it's the Bucks, now keep in mind, if it's the Bucks, I'm going to say, you know what? Every team was healthy. Every team had an even level. And the guys that wanted it the most did what during the quarantine period? The guys that wanted it the most worked their butts off to win a championship. So in my mind, the Bucks might be, if they win it, keep in mind, if the Bucks don't win it, then take this out of context. But if the Bucks win the championship, I'm going to call the Milwaukee Bucks the greatest team of all time. Do you hear that, Brent Martineau and your Boston Celtics? Do you hear that, Michael Jordan and your Chicago Bulls? Bucks greatest team of all time because that's what they did during the quarantine period. They cared about winning that much.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN690.
A partly sunny, hot and humid TGIF with a few afternoon storms today. Temperatures will reach the upper 80s to low 90s. With First Alert forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Hotter weather means drinking more water. Stay hydrated with clean water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean. And that's what we did at our house, and it's been awesome. CGC Water wants to say thank you to all the frontline workers keeping our communities safe and moving forward. Visit cgcwater.com and nominate a frontline worker who is putting community before self. Help us thank them. A random nominee will be selected, winning a K5 water drinking system, providing delicious, contaminant-free water to a hero on the front lines. CGC Water tests tap water as well, giving you a better understanding of what's in your water. It's free, and there's no obligation to buy anything. Schedule your water test and get peace of mind knowing your water is safe and clean. Visit cgcwater.com and join us in thanking our frontline heroes. cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Well, let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge-watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get into Arlington today where you can drive away in a new Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 down with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with nothing down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
Internal Revenue Service. When you owe a personal or business tax debt and can't pay, just hearing those 3 words brings feelings of fear and anxiety. I'm Jonathan David Suryash, Managing Tax Attorney at J. David Tax Law. Everyone knows that if you owe the IRS and don't pay, it's only a matter of time before tax liens, wage garnishments, or bank levies happen to you. The first step to resolution is our no-cost consultation. We take the time to go through your specific tax problem step by step. We explain exactly what your options are and how we will resolve your tax issue. J. David Tax Law is a local firm right here in Jacksonville, where only an experienced tax attorney will represent you. Our fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. If you have tax problems, call us now for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. That's jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for all you do. Visit Grainger.com for resources that can help as you create your recovery plan. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Keep faith. Obviously, we haven't been to the playoffs in a long time, and, they've heard it all. But we just got to keep going. That's all we can do. There's no secret formula. You know what I mean? We just got to get back to, being what Jet fans, expect us to be. And we obviously feel for them because, we're out there fighting, and we want to get there. But, it hasn't happened, and hopefully next year is the year it happens.
I'm not going to lie, Kuz. If he didn't say Jets, I would have had no idea who that soundbite was from. But that was from Jamal Adams from last year, obviously, during the season. Jamal Adams actually a really big name right now, a really hot topic in the world of NFL. Obviously, one of the best safeties, if not the best safety out there. So we're going to touch on that in a second here. But, Kuz, I want to go back to the comments real quick here on the YouTube feeds, whatever, the Twitch, whatever we're seeing these comments. The comments are rolling in from people saying that I'm flexing too much with my shirt off when I run.
Running with a shirt off is, according to our stream right now, a flex.
Okay.
Clayton also said that you had a monitor on.
I did.
Which I'm not sure if he is claiming that is also a flex. So you double flexed?
First of all, hey, heaven forbid I'm not trying to have a heart attack in the 90-degree temperatures of Jacksonville, Florida.
That's fair. Like, if your heart rate gets to a certain spot, are you going to slow down?
Well, so the way I got it set up is, they're called LSD runs. Now, it's not the drug LSD. No, it stands for like long something distant. It's long. What's the S?
Speed?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe long speed. Whatever the LSD stands for, it's not the drugs. I assure you. But the whole purpose of an LSD run is to keep your heart rate below like 150. So you're trying to stay like in your second rate heart zone. Right, so you're building like your base endurance. That's what I'm trying to do right now because I'm getting ready for a fight camp, right? So obviously when the fight camp starts, then I take it up a notch. But right now it's nice and easy. So I have the heart rate monitor to make sure that my heart rate stays below 150 beats per minute. So if my heart health is a flex, then I'm guilty as charged. But I will not wear a shirt when it's over 70 degrees here in Jacksonville because the way that I sweat is ridiculous, number one. And number two, obviously, I'm lazy when it comes to doing laundry. We had an interesting comment, too, here, Kuz. There's a lot of active comments today. It's cool to see. Interesting comment here on Twitter from Steve Boston. Great question that we haven't really touched on yet. What if the football season gets canceled? What happens to the guys on their contract year? You can't exactly push it back one more year because the large roster would ruin the 2021 draft. What then? It's a question that we haven't really touched on yet. Number one, Steve Boston, don't even put the bad juju out there and saying there's not going to be an NFL season, but I respect you, man. You're also a realist a little bit, and right now things are questionable. So I get the environment. I get what you're getting at. And to be fair, I have no idea what you would do, because there's two schools of thought here. You either push back the season, and if you do that, can you imagine contracts, Kuz, now? You want to talk about Yannick Ngakoue not getting his money that he wants? If Yannick Ngakoue didn't play football this year, okay, and the season got pushed back, maybe we're talking $10 million now for per year. Just because, think about it. I mean, the NFL is all about youth. So they're going to address the youth, obviously, in the draft. So what you have is really, if you think about it, if there is no NFL season this year and the players do get that year pushed back one, you're going to mess up the entire salary cap. Where we always talk about, where it always goes up, and obviously there's always new precedences in terms of how much guys, how much money guys make. Well, now you're going back to the dark ages because teams will take more chances on draft picks and the younger guys than they will that big contract guy.
Because they've missed an entire season of revenue, essentially?
Of course. Well, I mean that, but also guys want to go young.
That's true.
If you can get a guy that you can think can get, 8-10 sacks in the draft, why wouldn't you get him as opposed to paying, maybe like a Yannick Ngakoue $15 to $16 million a year? So I think the market value of every position goes down.
With Adams, right?
Yeah,
requesting a trade. I think this will the potential of not having a season make some teams hold back from potentially trying to get him, or even the Jets trying to trade him.
See, it's an interesting question, right? Because you have two schools of thought here. If you're the New York Jets right now, and obviously Jamal Adams has been very vocal, he doesn't want to be there anymore. Okay, best safety arguably in the league. So you have to try to get your value for him, right? So what do? Do you try to get the value right now before, possibly the season's canceled? Do you try to collect your losses now? Or do you hold on to him not knowing what the future is going to hold? See, if I'm the New York Jets, I try to ship him off as quickly as possible. Now, yes, you still have to get the right price for him. You still have to get, what you want in return for that investment. But to me, it makes a lot more sense to do that as opposed to literally having to deal with a guy that doesn't want to be there for another year. Who wants to do that? Like, who wants to have somebody on your staff that doesn't want to be there an extra year? Because let's be honest, that can be infectious to the staff. That can change the culture. That can cause a lot of problems. So I think right now the New York Jets, obviously the deal has to be great, and the juice has to be worth the squeeze. But if they can ship off Jamal Adams right now, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. And when we talk about Jamal Adams, you heard that soundbite when we came back into the show here. Listen, I'm a huge Jamal Adams advocate. I would love to see Jamal Adams in Jacksonville, and it's with all due respect to Ronnie Harrison. It's with all due respect to Jared Wilson as well. I mean, I think those two guys are adequate at the safety spot. And one could say maybe dependable. But Jamal Adams is the all-pro, okay? Jamal Adams is the freak of nature, if you will. And keep in mind, you're not only getting Jamal Adams, the all-pro safety that can turn a defense around, because I can point to you time and time again how important an all-pro safety is to a defense and the success of a football team. I can do that. But let's take it one step further. Let's talk about what he brings off the field, okay? Let's talk about the leadership. Let's talk about the mentality. Let's talk about the work ethic. This guy's got all those in spades, okay? Keep in mind, Jacksonville right now, the youngest team in the NFL. Jacksonville, the way they look on defense right now, there's a lot of interesting pieces, right? I mean, you get Chase on, you get C.J. Henderson, you got Josh Allen. We'll see with Yannick Ngakoue, but keep in mind, maybe Yannick Ngakoue becomes part of that Jets trade to get Jamal Adams. But there's a lot of interesting pieces that you have right now. So if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I say, okay, we have a lot of young talent. And to be fair, if this young talent can develop, it can be special for years to come. Miles Jack at linebacker, obviously. You just brought in Joe Sherbert, one of the surest things, I think, right now at the middle linebacker position in the NFL. So you have a lot of things going for you. But to me, what you don't have right now on that Jaguars defense, and it's no disrespect to Josh Allen or Yannick Ngakoue, it's just what it is you don't have the dog, okay? You don't have the guy that's going to lead every single huddle, that's going to start chanting Duval and get everybody fired up before that game. You don't have that guy where when he makes the tackle on Derrick Henry, he's going to step over Derrick Henry and flex in his face and say, hey, man, I'll be right back. I don't think you have that guy right now. Jamal Adams is that guy. Now, the problem is, with Jamal Adams, there's a couple things, obviously. With Jamal Adams, he's been pretty vocal about where he wants to go. And spoiler alert, none of those teams are the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I read that and I was like, oh, so we're just naming the top teams in the league, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Happened.
Well, because so what happened was the question was posed to him, hey, would you go to the Detroit Lions? And Jamal Adams said absolutely not, okay? And then all of a sudden, Adam Schefter tweeted out a list of 7 teams that Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams would welcome in a trade. Those teams are the Ravens. And let me start by saying, if the Ravens get Jamal, stop. Just stop it, okay? You got Calais Campbell. You got the mayor of Saxonville. How much more talent do you need on defense? You have the reigning MVP. Can you at least be fair to the rest of the NFL? So the Ravens, just stop it. The Dallas Cowboys. The Houston Texans, which is interesting because you talked about, talented teams. Yeah, I mean, they're probably like a tier 2 talented team, but they're not a favorite to win the division this year. Obviously, I think that honor would go to either Tennessee or obviously Indianapolis. Kansas City Chiefs, obviously. The Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, obviously. The San Francisco 49ers, obviously. And the Seattle Seahawks, which if they reload at the safety position again, I mean, it's been all about Russell Wilson, but that defense has been storied for a while. Kind of took a step back last year, I would like to imagine. So Jamal Adams going to the Seahawks, man, well, then you're talking about Legion of Boom version 2.0. But obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars weren't in that list. So that's the first problem. The second problem is how much he's going to want, okay? Because right now he's got 2 more years left on his contract. So realistically, what you could do is you could trade for Jamal Adams right now, bring him in on your team, let him play out through the season, knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, he becomes an all-pro, and then you worry about the contract thing next year, a la Jalen Ramsey right now for the Los Angeles Rams. That's not crazy news. Teams do that all the time, but it's the price tag, okay? Because right now, this guy, I mean, he's considered a strong safety, Kuz, but this guy's the jack of all trades. So let's go ahead and call this guy a hybrid strong safety linebacker because he's got no problem coming on the line of scrimmage and delivering the hurt. That's why I like him, because if you look at Marlon Mack on the Colts, if you look at Melvin Gordon now on the Colts and that physical offensive line, if you look at the Tennessee Titans, obviously with Derrick Henry, say no more, and if you look at the Houston Texans now with David Johnson, to me, they're going to be 3 teams that want to pound the rock. And if you have a strong safety, a strong box safety that can come down and say, good luck with that. I want that guy on my team, man. I want that dog. So with that being said, here comes the price tag. Landon Collins right now of Washington, who's probably the best hybrid guy out there, is making $14.2 million a year. Jamal Adams says that he wants to smash that ceiling. Realistically, if I'm a GM and I'm trying to coax Jamal Adams on my team, I'm looking at anywhere in the ballpark between $19 and $21 million a year to bring him on my team. I think that's what he would want. I think that would be fair. It's a lot of money, Coos. All right, and that's a lot of money for a safety. And that completely blows the doors off of the safety position. Ironically, the New York Jets have a player in C.J. Mosley, that middle linebacker, who blew the doors off the middle linebacker position. Now, C.J. Mosley had some injuries last year. When he was in, he was magnificent, but obviously didn't play the entire season. So it comes the question, are you willing to spend that $19 to $21 million per year for a safety? And once again, if I'm a GM, I say absolutely. Because it's not just a safety. You're getting a team captain. You're getting another linebacker. You're getting that dog that your defense wants. Really, you're not even really getting a safety. Like, obviously you are, but you're buying an identity. Okay? Like, Jamal Adams will come in here, I guarantee, day one, and he will be part of the identity. You know? He's going to be the guy on the Jumbotron saying Duval, flexing and everything like that. But once again, comes the question, would he come to Jacksonville? Here's where the optimistic side of me says, well, you never know. If you look at the New York Jets situation right now with their head coach and Adam Gase, I've never met Adam Gase before. I've never talked to Adam Gase before, but I do know that he's lost some locker rooms, okay? He lost the locker room, obviously, in Miami, and then I made fun of the New York Jets when they brought him to New York because I said, what are you doing bringing that guy when you lost the locker room in Miami, okay? So when you lose a locker room, you're desperate to get guys out of there. And I would think that given the history right now of Adam Gase, only been in New York, I think, for 2 years, going on 3 years now, he doesn't have to abide by what Jamal Adams wants. Like, I don't know how tight him and Jamal Adams are. Probably not that tight if Jamal Adams wants out. So Adam Gase doesn't have to go like Doug Marrone did or Dave Caldwell did and say, hey, Calais Campbell, we love you, man. Thank you for your time in Jacksonville. We have to go in another direction. I know it sucks, but you know what? We're going to trade you to Baltimore because we respect you that much. I don't see Adam Gase doing this. I don't see the New York Jets doing this. I see the New York Jets saying, you know what? We'll take a player maybe in a trade. We'll take some draft picks, but we don't care where Jamal Adams goes. Sure, Jamal Adams can go on Twitter and tell Adam Schefter he wants to go here. Doesn't mean we have to abide by those rules. So that's where I have some optimism. Where if you look at trades, you throw Yannick Ngakoue in there. Obviously, Yannick Ngakoue wants out of Jacksonville. Now, I'm not sure how he feels. He's been on the quiet lately. We don't know where Yannick Ngakoue stands right now. But all I know is what I've known from the past. And what the past tells me is that Yannick Ngakoue wants out. So if you can try to work a package deal with the New York Jets, trade for Yannick Ngakoue, get Jamal Adams, well, now you're cooking with gas, right? Because obviously Yannick Ngakoue will need a new contract eventually. I mean, you can take him this year, but he's going to need a new contract. Jamal Adams will need a new contract. So I'm not going to sit here and say, can it be straight up? But I think it can be intriguing. I think if you maybe Yannick Ngakoue in a second rounder or something like that, well, now you got something. Because as I'm breaking down, and keep in mind, the Jets run a 3-4 defense here. But as I'm breaking down their defense right now and their pass rushers, Jordan Jenkins, Terrell Basham, Harvey Lange. Gonna be honest, don't know a lot about those guys, okay? So the New York Jets maybe are in the need of a pass rusher. Now, once again, it's just wishful thinking on my part, but I'm just trying to throw some stuff out there and try to make it stick, where if the Jets are in need of a pass rusher, and if the Jaguars are still trying to bring in the culture, trying to change things around a little bit and get some veteran experience, might be a match made in heaven. But obviously it has to be for the right price on both sides. But I'm just saying, keep your feelers out there, and let's see what we got. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We've talked about this before. When a bank gives you $100,000 by mistake, do not go spend that money because you're going to get into a lot of trouble for it. But an Albuquerque teenager found $135,000 in cash next to an ATM. What would you do, Stugotz?
Finders keepers. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get into Arlington today, where you can drive away in a new Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 down with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with nothing down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
Reliant Roofing, Solar, and Hurricane Shutters is pleased to announce its 4th annual Every Shingle Heart Initiative. This year, they will give a free roof to one healthcare worker or first responder in Northeast Florida. The individuals who've been making the ultimate sacrifice over the last several months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reliant wants to return the favor to someone in these fields. To nominate someone, you can visit their website, ReliantRoofing.com/Every Shingle Heart. Nominations will open June 15th until July 31st. The recipient chosen will be announced on August 15th, 2020.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. Star Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by **, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing *** mobile from your mobile phone. That's ** mobile. When prospective customers see your offline or online ad and they dial your branded StarStar mobile number, StarStar Mobile helps to convert them through text, voice, and online communications. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Take a look out your window right now. Things appear basically the same, but you know they're not. Same with your business. There have been changes, some might even be permanent. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, how will you respond? Stay the course, or will you explore the new opportunities in front of you? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we know that those who explore often discover wonderful new things. If you're willing, we're able to help. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com. And let's build Jax.
Hello, business owners. We're all in this together. Our company, CMG Jacksonville, knows you need clients to trust your brand. We have the right people and the ideal platforms to help you do that. It's important to advertise now, more than ever. Now, to create an unbreakable loyalty to your brand, CMG Jacksonville can help you make that happen.
Hi, this is Bob Herman. I'm a media consultant with Cox Media Group in Jacksonville. I've been in the business for 30 years. And my success has come from helping you to succeed, whether it's radio, digital, an event, or just offering a consultation. To me, it's about building a partnership and being accountable for doing the best I can for you. If you'd like to find out more, please call me, Bob Herman, at 904-245-8678. That's 245-8678. Let me go to work for you.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up. Like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines. And the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for all you do. Visit Grainger.com for resources that can help as you create your recovery plan. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all know Beard's Diamonds has the best price and best selection, but the perks that come after the sale set Beard's Diamonds light years ahead of the competition. Beard's offers unprecedented lifetime warranty on all items, no matter the purchase price. 100% free. Ring sizing? Free. Rhodium plating? Free. Appraisal? Free. Stone replacement?
It's all free. When you choose Beard's, that makes us want to go over and beyond for you.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95 and get a $10 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. You can even order at O'ReillyAuto.com and we'll deliver it curbside. Protect your engine from sludge and wear at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job done right. With over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies, our pro pickup and same or next day delivery, you can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I got a lot of respect for the other teams and the players on there. You know, Drew, Teddy, Tom coming over. The NFC South is packed with talent. The whole hype thing, I don't look too much into it. And we don't as a team either. We focus on ourselves, focus on, the organization and what we have within, and build on it. But yeah, hype hype without results mean nothing in my eyes. So
hype without results mean nothing. Not bad. From Keanu Neal, that was, Coos. Atlanta Falcons. I think he's coming off a couple injuries, actually.
Yeah, he was talking about his injury, saying he's starting to feel better.
Yeah, there it is, man. And I like that. Hype without I'm sorry, what was the quote again? Hype without
results means nothing.
Means nothing.
Which, like, if you think about it, in their division, like, which team do you think will be the one that disappoints, right? He was talking about the talent level that they all will have to compete against. But I always feel like, there's always one that doesn't live up to the hype, obviously, because they all can't.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And to be fair, and with all due respect, and I mean, actually, and this is truthful. I'm not saying with all due respect and then lying about it. I mean with all due respect to one of my friends, man, one of my partners in crime, Marcel Robinson, who's an Atlanta Falcons fan. Listen, right now you guys are finding yourselves in a division with the New Orleans Saints and obviously Drew Brees and all that guy kind of got squashed. And now it's going to turn into a Disney movie where they all kind of found a common ground. Now they're going to go out and win a Super Bowl. You play in a division with obviously Tom Brady now, Rob Gronkowski, probably the best wide receivers in the league. I'm talking about tandem with Godwin and Mike Evans, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you're playing the same division as the Carolina Panthers, who are kind of the question mark right now, but they have a hot, new, young, exciting coach. And I don't mean hot as in looks purposes. I'm saying hot from, a branding standpoint. And you have Christian McCaffrey, arguably the best running back in the game. So the NFC South division, arguably compared maybe with the NFC West, is the most competitive division, I think, in football. Right? So, listen, it's always rough to be in that kind of scenario, I guess, right? Because let's be honest, Coos, if you're in an NFL locker room, it's all about, in the preseason and the offseason workouts, it's just, we got to win our division, go to the Super Bowl. And, like, everyone starts on the same ground, right? Like, everybody knows what's up. And yes, there was a lot of optimism, especially my rookie year and my second year, so back in 2010, 2011, in the city of Jacksonville and on those teams. Keep in mind, 2010, we go 8-8. I think we lose out in our last 3 games. Should have went to the playoffs. We blew it. The next year, obviously, a lot of optimism that we're going to do the same thing again, right? If not better now, because, we had a taste of possibly the playoffs. We just missed it by coming a little short. Now we're motivated. Now we want something else. But in the back of our minds, we all knew that, how's Peyton Manning doing? Is his neck okay? Is he going to play this season? Because if he is, it's going to be a rough one. We weren't necessarily really worried about the Tennessee Titans at the time. We were worried about the Houston Texans because at the time they were a great team. They ran an offense which was a headache to prepare for because everything they did looked the same. So being a defensive lineman, it was rough. So the Houston Texans in our back of mind are like, they're going to be good. And obviously the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning, they were going to be good. So obviously we wanted to win a division. And obviously we worked our butt off to do that. But in the back of our mind, we knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk. And I think right now, if you're Keanu Neal, obviously if you're Matt Ryan, if you're Todd Gurley coming from the Rams, listen, man, this division is stacked. All right. And maybe we need a little luck. Okay. But we have to do everything in our power to try to win this division, but it's not going to be easy. I'm not sure what the Vegas odds have the Atlanta Falcons right now of winning the division, but it can't be that good. But spoiler alert, though, at least you guys got cool jerseys. And I stand in the, I'm an outlier when I say that because everyone wants to hate on the Atlanta Falcons jerseys, say they look like the longest yard Mean Machine jerseys. I think the Falcons jerseys look pretty cool. You know what? And I'm gonna stand on that hill. And if I have to die on that hill, I'll die on that hill as well. I want to change topics a little bit here, Kuz, and it's kind of a topic we talked about a little bit yesterday, and the conversation kind of continues to carry on a little bit. And I want to make sure I got the right quote here. So this kind of started this morning, actually, when reports came out from the Minnesota Twins saying that they're going to remove the statue of former owner Calvin Griffith over racist comments. So once again, we're at this stage right now in society where obviously society and sports are crossing, but we're also at this space right now where receipts are getting pulled left and right, and people are being held accountable for things maybe they said 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, 40 years, whatever it is. But people are being put on blast right now. And in the latest case, which was all over Twitter today, was trending, owner Calvin Griffith is being called for his monument or his statue be torn down from the Twins stadium after comments came to light from a 1978 article where he said, and I quote, "I'm moving the Twins to Minnesota because I found out that Minnesota only had 15,000 blacks here." And that's the exact quote. I think... Yeah, so originally what happened was he moved them from Washington. They're the Washington Senators, and then opted to move them from Washington to Minnesota. And once again, the quote was, "When I found out you only had 15,000 blacks here, it was an easy decision, unquote. Yeah, not a good comment, obviously. Not a good thing to, I guess, campaign and just to showcase of this guy's statue. Now, listen, I don't know how Twins fans feel about this whole situation. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer, if we're being honest here. And I understand. This was from 1978, so it's a long time ago. And I'm not sure if this guy's still around yet or not. And maybe if he was around, he would say that was a mistake and he's learned from it, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But if this society right now and this landscape has taught us anything, it's the fact that we have to learn our history and we have to let the history be the teacher, right? I mean, for instance, it's Juneteenth today, okay? And there's actually businesses out there, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for crying out loud, are, they're celebrating it and they're giving their employees the day off, okay? Now, listen, obviously Juneteenth, I mean, you could say it's a celebration, but it comes from a place of obviously a lot of pain and a lot of messed up things, because Juneteenth essentially is the day that slaves were finally free and they could do whatever they wanted to do, okay? Now, obviously, yeah, that's something to celebrate, but the fact that we're celebrating it kind of goes to show you, like, man, that's right. It's kind of a messed up situation. So, I mean, people can call it Freedom Day, they can call it Juneteenth Day, but the most important thing is that we're talking about it now. We're bringing this to the spotlight because it deserves to be in the spotlight. So whether they make it a national holiday or not, it's the fact that we're letting history kind of guide us a little bit, and we're learning about our roots, whether you're white, black, or whatever color your skin is. I mean, we're learning about history. So with that being said, with Calvin Griffith here, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're the Twins organization, if you're a Twins fan, the statue's got to come down, because now, since they got brought into light, every single time you walk in that Twins stadium, every single time you walk into Target Field and you see this guy on the outside of the stadium greeting you as you walk in, why would you want that there? So obviously the comments, regardless of how old they are, they're not right. Obviously, I don't think you have that statue outside your stadium, regardless of how old it is, regardless of when those comments were made. I think that's one of those things where there is no fine line. I think it's one of those things where the fact that the Twins got brought to Minnesota in the first place was because there weren't a lot of black people there. It's not something to celebrate, man, okay? So go ahead and tear that statue down, and let's move on with our lives. So I'm not mad at that whatsoever. But it brought me back again here, Kuz, and it brought me back to a little more, of a Jacksonville topic, of a Florida topic, of an SEC football topic, and that's the term Gator bait. A couple days ago, the president of UF said, listen, the term Gator bait, it has connotations of a rough history, back in the early 1900s where black children were essentially used to coax gators out of the swamp, and then they would shoot them. And it's got a messed up connotation, obviously. Now, once again, from the early 1900s. And I was very adamant about this yesterday. I'm not going to say that I'm on one side or the other, because to me, if people are offended, then I don't care. I mean, I don't have any ties to the Florida Gators. I really don't care. It's a chant, Okay? You guys will get over it. It's not like they're canceling football. Okay? It's just a chant. And I understand there's tradition with that chant. I understand there's memories with that chant. All this stuff. But it's just a chant. Well, then, then we had former Gator players kind of coming out and saying, well, you better not take that name away because we built that name. And it came out, I believe, in the early 90s. So all of a sudden, everyone's like, well, let's have the conversation. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about it for a little bit. And listen, I'm all for the conversation, but I guess the question comes in, what is the conversation going to do? Because at the end of the day, yesterday we had Gator players speaking out, former Gator players saying, you know what? Keep that chant. That's part of our history. It has nothing to do with the connotations that's being accused of. It's got to do with us playing football. Well, and then today, actually, I got to find the guy's name here real quick. Yeah, so former Florida Gator safety Ahmad Black says that he wants the term Gator bait gone. So now you have a slippery slope of former players saying to keep the name and former players saying to remove the name and to remove the chant. So it's like no matter what you do, people are going to be upset. So I guess, and listen, I've been going back and forth on this because I hate riding the fence. I'm all for having a side and standing behind that side and sticking up for that side. I can see both sides of it. At the end of the day, though, here's what I would do if I was the president of the Florida Gators, if I was, a higher-ranking member of the Florida Gators. This is exactly what I would do to try to get an idea of what to do, okay? I would poll my current team. Now, granted, I'm not sure what percentage of the Florida Gators this year are black, and I'm not sure what percentage are white. I really don't care. Everyone gets a vote. And you vote. That team that's going to go on the field and play in front of those fans, they have this say. And if I'm the president, I'm going to ask, do you guys want this song or not? And it's going to be up to a vote. It'll be a private vote. Everyone casts the ballot, and whoever wins, you go from there. Because at the end of the day, to me, it's about the current players. Yes, I understand it's about the history and things like that. And to be fair, I think the current players in that Florida Gator team right now, with the way society is, I think they would be against the Gator bait cheer. I honestly do. So I'll put it in the current players' hands because we're already starting to see, well, the former players, yeah, go ahead and have a say. Go ahead and have a debate about it, but you guys are tied to it. You guys are so absorbed in it because that's your song and that's your team, and I understand that, but this is a cultural issue. This isn't just a Florida Gators issue because the whole world's going to eventually see this. So you got to think about what kind of message you want to portray, and I understand. I didn't know what Gator bait meant until a couple days ago, and I'm sure 99% of the population didn't know either, okay? And I get people bringing up the fact that, listen, how much do we have to go back on history and try to right the wrongs? Okay, and maybe that's a fair argument, but I'm going to say this. I didn't know what Juneteenth was a couple years ago, but you know what? I'm celebrating it today. I didn't know what the Black Wall Street was in Tulsa a couple years ago, but it's added to the fact that I think that back in the day, there were some pretty messed up things that happened to black people, okay? Like that just kind of reiterated the point that there was discrimination, obviously, okay? So right now as a society, we're going back in time and we're bringing all these things to light, and people want to say, well, this is stupid. Why are we going back? Like these connotations, yada, yada, yada. I don't care, man. The only way to grow as a society right now and the only way to grow as people is to look back on history and learn from it. Okay? And I'm not trying to say, well, we got to get new textbooks in schools and our teachers have to do a better job. There's a lot of great teachers out there, man. And I was lucky to have a bunch of them. And there's a lot of great teachers that don't have a lot of resources who are just kind of following the curriculum what's in front of them. So I'm not trying to out teachers or anything like that. You guys keep doing your thing because you guys are rock stars. But I'm just saying that we have to do, and me, everybody, we have to do our due diligence and learn more about the history of this country. Okay? For instance, I watched the Jet Li documentary 2 weeks ago now, it would have been, right? And Jet Li, obviously a pioneer of MMA, one of my favorite actors growing up. I remember my stepdad used to always make me watch the Jet Li movies, and I loved him, man. Couldn't get enough of him. I had no idea. And I don't want to say I'm embarrassed not to know this. I just didn't know. Maybe I'm just that ignorant. But I had no idea. And they talk about this with Jet Li as a kid. If you were Chinese, back during the civil rights era, being Chinese was no walk in the park either, because people associated Chinese people with Japanese people. They thought they all looked the same. And remember, the Japanese were the ones that bombed Pearl Harbor. So if you're a Chinese citizen in the United States and you're walking around, man, people thought, well, that guy's family bombed Pearl Harbor. And they couldn't be any farther from the truth. So like that was kind of eye-opening to me a little bit over a Jet Li documentary. So I learned something that day, right? I learned something about Chinese people. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is it doesn't matter when it happened, okay? But you have to accept that it happened. And we have to learn about this stuff. And I'm not just saying me as an adult. I'm saying kids as well, man, because when we start learning more of these things of how messed up things were and, try to form our country and what people had to go through, if we keep learning about these things, well, then we start to develop a little bit of a sympathy. And that's not a bad thing. Having sympathy for somebody is not bad. Because if you have sympathy, then you can have understanding. And if you have understanding, then you can move on a little bit. So once again, I'm not sure what's going to come out of this whole Gator bait discussion. I think you leave it up to the players on that current team right now and see where it goes from here. But I think if anything comes out of it, man, it's important that we learn our history. That's all I got to say about that. Kuz, you ready to go to break, man? I kind of expelled my energy there for that last segment, but we're going to lighten things up a little bit when we get back here on ESPN 690. Jaguars all-decade team. We talked about it a little bit during the week. How right were we? How many Jaguars are considered to be on the AFC South all-decade team? We break that down next.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny, hot and humid today with a few afternoon storms, highs near 90 degrees, dropping to near 70 tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com. Nobody wants tax problems, and lives have certainly changed in the last couple of months. So let me tell you about J. David Tax Law. They are here to help you and your business with tax debt issues during the pandemic. Tax problems can be stressful, especially right now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. But here's the deal. The programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. That's coming soon. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With stimulus packages being distributed, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. J. David Tax Law only has experienced tax attorneys that will represent you. You want to be able to walk in and talk to someone and look them right in the eye when it comes to your taxes. J. David Tax Law is someone you can trust. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
Hi, I'm Stuart Weber of Action News Jax with Take Steps Plus Virtual, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's June 20th fundraiser supporting 3 million Americans. You can register at cctakesteps.org/Jacksonville 2020.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota/June offers for full details. If you don't have Safe Touch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at Safe Touch Security. At Safe Touch, that is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At Safe Touch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the Safe Touch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and Safe Touch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every Safe Touch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive Safe Touch parts and labor agreement at no charge. Safe Touch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. Know you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. Safe Touch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
Oh, it's hot in Jacksonville. Summer is here. Hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water. Stay hydrated, but make sure you do it in a healthy way. Take care of your family by having clean, purified water. That's what we have in our house. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. And right now, you can get an incredible offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call CGC at 904-552-1242. CGC will test your tap water so you can better understand what's in your water. That's important. It's free, and there is no obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. And while you're on the website, CGC wants your help to recognize frontline workers. They've been doing a great job. Nominate a worker, and they might get a free RO system. cgcwater.com, serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ramona Pavilion featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more. There'll be concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ramona Pavilion on Ramona Boulevard, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout-out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call *star 690. Leave a message, and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's *star 690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Just figuring out what's going to be the best way to operate, but also have the agility to adjust and adapt in what is going to be a very fluid situation. I mean, is this crazy, Coach Lynn? We're talking about some of this stuff, and we're playing football. I mean, we're going to social distance, but we play football. It's just, this is really hard for me to understand all this. I don't want to be. I don't get it. I really don't.
I know it's tough. We're going to have to test them every day.
That was Rams coach Sean McVay getting ready for Hard Knocks, if you will. And listen, Sean McVay, better step your game up a little bit because Cliff Kingsbury dunked all over you in terms of swag when it comes to, I guess, housing interior and exterior because the guy had a fireplace outside in the middle of Phoenix, Arizona. So it's the ultimate flex. But, you know, it's funny, right? Because Sean McVay, like, he was the it guy. He was the it guy for a year. And everyone's like, if you know Sean McVay, you're going to get a job in the NFL. Like, this guy is an offensive-minded genius. Last year, he gets figured out a little bit. So I'm curious. I mean, listen, this is a big year for a lot of NFL teams out there. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's a big year for the Jaguars. But to me, this is a big year for Sean McVay because you're going to find out if he really is that mad genius when it comes to offense or if he was that flash in the pan kind of guy. You know, is he just the 2017 Jaguars defense and the Jaguars team, or is he consistent and going to be the real deal for years to come? Because keep in mind how the Rams ended last year. I'm sure everyone doesn't really keep in line with how the Rams are doing, obviously, especially now with Jalen Ramsey on that team. But a team that used to covet running the bunch formation and the spread offense, last year you saw them using a lot of two tight end motions and using, you know, just like these running back kind of sets. It was kind of unheard of in a Sean McVay offense. So obviously, they draft Cam Akers. Todd Gurley's gone, so Cam Akers immediately gets thrust into the starting role. And if you're a fantasy guy out there, I'm sure that you probably want to add him to your team early on because if how I think this is going to play out for the Rams this year, I think they're going to be more of a balanced team as opposed to relying on Jared Goff, you know, especially losing Brandon Cooks now as well. I think they're going to use a lot more of their tight ends in play action and also use their running backs a little more. So if that's the case, I think Cam Akers becomes a pretty high commodity in what they ask to do, what they ask him to do on offense. I'm looking at right now. I mean, yeah, as far as the backups, they got Malcolm Brown, they got Darrell Henderson. I mean, I can foresee Cam Akers coming in right away and making a splash for that team. And obviously, I think I've seen Sean McVay already sing his praises. So we'll go on from there. All-decade AFC South team got released today by ESPN. Brent and I broke it down. I think it was on a Thursday, right, Coos? We broke it down on a Thursday. You know, we had a couple of, I guess, sure things, right? Like Jalen Ramsey was probably going to be a sure thing. We're questioning whether Puz was going to be in there. A Darryl Smith was going to be there, maybe a Calais Campbell. Well, ESPN has finally released the AFC All-South Decade team, and the list is as follows. Offense, quarterback, we got Andrew Luck. One could say Peyton Manning, but in terms of longevity, keep in mind it's an all-decade team, so 2010 until now. It's obviously a no-brainer with Andrew Luck because he has a lot more years than Peyton Manning did at the time with this decade. Running back was a crazy one, man, because obviously Jaguars fans would campaign for Maurice Jones-Drew, and you wouldn't be crazy to do that. You have a guy in Maurice Jones-Drew who led the league in rushing, if I'm not mistaken, in 2011. Okay? So that gets you something right there. Pocket Hercules. The rolling bowling ball butcher knives. You know? Pick your adjective. The guy had it. And from fantasy purposes, was one of the very first fantasy stars that I can remember. So Maurice Jones-Drew, he's got that cachet. He's got that pomp and circumstance. But then we forget. We forget about guys like the name of Chris Johnson. And he actually, to be fair, didn't make it either because it's only one running back. The running back that made it was the clear-cut favorite because keep in mind, this guy was an all-pro, led his team led the league in rushing back in 2010, was a Pro Bowler for 3 years, Arian Foster. Arian Foster he's obviously a different cat. I'm sure people kind of know his story. Out of Tennessee, was literally, wasn't really coveted as this guy that was going to be the game changer. Comes into 2009, has an okay season, just kind of shows like he's going to be a legit backup. 2010 comes around and hits the ground running. And keep in mind, 2010 was my rookie year. So I remember the very first time playing Arian Foster, and we did not game plan for Arian Foster that first time he played the Texans. It was all about stopping Andre Johnson. It was all about stopping the former Wisconsin Badger Owen Daniels at tight end. We were not concerned with Arian Foster. He might not even have been in the scouting report. Arian Foster, who is this guy? Long story short, led the league in rushing that year with 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. Well, you can believe some of those yards and some of those touchdowns came against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we found out who Arian Foster was real fast. So Arian Foster, running back of the AFC South all-decade team. Wide receivers, obviously I mentioned him before. Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, T.Y. Hilton. Not bad. You know, I think the only one that you could make an argument for would have been Dwayne Allen. But all things considered, I'm not mad at that list because keep in mind, T.Y. Hilton still doing the dang thing. I'm sorry, not Dwayne Allen. No, I'm blanking on his name. I'll come back to it in a second here. But regardless, though, not a bad list. DeAndre Hopkins, say no more. Andre Johnson, to me, one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time in the NFL because the guy wasn't flashy. He was a great run-blocking wide receiver as well. Just went about his business, man, and went about it great. Tackles now. We got Dwayne Brown from the Texans and Jack Conklin from the Tennessee Titans. Interesting for Jack Conklin, only 3 years with the Tennessee Titans. Guards, we got Quentin Nelson out of the Colts, which is obviously the hot thing when it comes to guards. I probably can't even name another guard right now besides Quentin Nelson, obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Right guard, Wade Smith out of the Texans, 2010 to 2013. And center, this was a little bit of a surprise because you could make an argument for Brad Meester. But the guy also had a little bit of longevity going in his favor as he spent 2012 to 2015 with the Texans and now is currently the Tennessee Titans center, and that's Ben Jones. So I get it, man. I'm a Meester believer just like everybody else is. But in terms of obviously longevity, this guy has played since 2012 and is still playing to this day. So it's hard to deny Ben Jones that honor of being, the all-decade team of the AFC South. Let's go over the defense now. Defense, pretty obvious. J.J. Watt, got any more brain busters? Defensive tackle, Jarrell Casey, got any more brain busters? Here we go. Jacksonville, we're on the board. Let's go. Duval. We got Calais Campbell, defensive tackle, 2017 to 2019. Listen. There we go, Kuz. We have one Jaguar on the list. Now, offense didn't look pretty, okay? Got snubbed on offense. And to be fair, the Jaguars' offense, it is what it is. But with that being said, though, we get one on defense with Calais Campbell. And once again, to me, really a no-brainer. And it's crazy to think about this. Calais Campbell was only here from 2017 to 2019. 3 years, man. In 3 years, you become a member of the all-decade team. That says a lot. And granted, it's a defensive tackle, not defensive end. You can kind of put him both spots. I consider Calais Campbell a defensive tackle all day. So I'm not worried about, the schematics of it or whatever like that. But it goes to show you just how talented Calais Campbell was. Not only obviously on the field, but we always talk about his stuff off the field as well. And obviously he gets traded this past season, goes to Baltimore. But, man, you want to talk about his time in a Jaguars uniform. Hit the ground running. First year in Jacksonville, 2017, 14.5 sacks. And I can tell you the tackles, and I can tell you the fumble recoveries, and I can tell you all that stuff. But let's be honest. All you casual football fans out there, all you want is the sacks. We're talking about pass rushing. You guys don't care about how many tackles a defensive guy had, especially an interior guy. So 14.5 sacks his first year in Jacksonville. There you go. Chew on that a little bit. Next season, 10.5 sacks. From a 3 technique, from a big end position, better than most. Better than a majority, let's just say. And then last year, had a little bit of a decline in terms of his pass rushing capabilities, but was also, I believe, the leader in terms of Pro Football Focus in his ability in the run game, and he had 6.5 sacks last year. But needless to say, Calais Campbell earned AFC All-Decade. And it begs the question, as I sit here and read out this guy's stats and his accolades, I mean, is this a guy that you can one day see in the Jaguars Ring of Honor? And I guess I don't know what exactly the criteria for the Ring of Honor is. I mean, obviously, it's longevity. Obviously, it has to do with, I'm sure, community outreach. And most importantly, probably your stats. And I get that Calais Campbell was only here for 3 years. I completely understand that. And if you said any player is only on a team for 3 years, how could you justify them putting them in the Ring of Honor? I hear you. But also, I think that even though Calais Campbell is now gone, I still think that he's done enough not only on the field but also in the community where it's going to leave ripples for years and years and years to come. I guarantee the first time that we see a running back break an 80-yard touchdown, hopefully it doesn't happen, but let's be honest, it probably will at least one time this year. We're going to say, man, we could have used Calais Campbell on that one. I'm sure when we see Calais Campbell celebrating, doing his baseball bat home run thing for the Baltimore Ravens as they're probably going to a Super Bowl, because that's what happens if Jaguars players, they go to the Super Bowl. I'm sure I'm thinking like, man, well, good for him, number one, most importantly, but number two, oh, Calais, we could have used you this year, man. We miss you. So, once again, I get the longevity's not there for his time in Jacksonville in terms of the Ring of Honor, but I think the ripples that he's left here will last a long time. And if that says something to you, then that means that he should go in the Jaguars Ring of Honor. Getting through the list here on the defensive line, we got Robert Mathis. So, pretty obvious, obviously. Great pass rusher from the Indianapolis Colts. By the way, Colts, 7, Kuz? Was it 7 players from the Indianapolis Colts here on the...
Yeah, that's what Google said.
Most impressive. Okay, let's go to linebackers real quick. Colts, Darius Leonard, 2018 to the present. Kind of a shorter career, but obviously the guy is super talented. I'm not mad at that. Jadeveon Clowney, linebacker. Okay, I guess we're playing a 3-4 defense now. Todd Wash, you listening? So Clowney, all-decade team. Not mad at that. I get it. One can make it. And listen, and Brent kind of had this point yesterday a little bit. What about Yannick Ngakoue then? Because if you look at the stats, Yannick Ngakoue has accomplished a lot more in his short career than Clowney has overall. Now, keep in mind, I get it. Clowney's had some injuries, and for the most part, Yannick Ngakoue has remained healthy. But with that being said, I think longevity goes into it as well. And we're talking about a guy who played from 2014 to 2018, a couple years longer than Yannick Ngakoue. So with that being said, I think he gets the edge. And let's be honest, too, in terms of, a household name, and listen, I'm a big Yannick Ngakoue fan, but in terms of a household name, I can go up and ask 10 random casual fans on the street right now, do you know Yannick Ngakoue? Do you know Clowney? I'm sure more of them are going to know Clowney. So Clowney gets the nod over Ngakoue, and you know what? It is what it is. I'm not too mad. But Kuz, get that button ready. Another Jacksonville Jaguar on the all-decade team, and it's a guy who was in one of my top 5 players that I ever shared a locker room with, that I ever shared the field with, Paul Puz Lusney. Now, did I pronounce his name wrong at the end? Probably. I can't pronounce his last name. It is what it is. He gets that. He's okay with that. We're still friends. But Puz, man, I guess not really much of a shocker to me if you analyze the landscape of linebacking play the past decade in the NFL in terms of the AFC South. There's not like a lot of big name, like true middle linebackers I'm talking about. So Puz gets the nod. Good for him, man. Earned it, And listen, I said it. One of the best players I ever played with. And you know what? Darryl Smith is deservingly probably of this award as well. But I have to go back and look. But I don't think Darryl Smith in the last decade lasted a lot in Jacksonville. So he would have been here for 3 years, so it's kind of hard to say from his standpoint, but Darryl Smith, obviously an uber-talented linebacker in his own right, but congratulations to Puz, man, on the all-decade team. All right, let's round it out with the secondary and safeties. Kuz, button again, please. I love how you delayed it because people aren't going to be that excited. Jalen Ramsey. Okay, obviously Jalen Ramsey was one of the players on the all-decade team. How could he? But he played for the Jaguars, so yeah. I mean, yeah, what do we want to do? But, Jaguar Jalen Ramsey, not Ram Jalen Ramsey. But, Jalen Ramsey, all-decade team. Kind of a no-brainer, all-pro, very well-known guy, had his time here in Jacksonville. Say what you want about it. Didn't end on good terms, but at least you're going to have some of those memories where he helped to go to the AFC Championship game, and take it for what it's worth. I don't want to dwell on him too much because I'm sure it's still a fresh wound for a lot of people out there that he's not here any longer. So let's just move on. The other corner, and I get it because it's a longevity standpoint again, but the more that I thought about it, the more I actually try to campaign for another Jacksonville Jaguar who we didn't even talk about yesterday. All right, so obviously Jonathan Joseph is of the Houston Texans, 2011, 2019. That's he is a decade basically. Like he is a decade team. Okay, so don't get it wrong. Like it's well earned. I mean, he's still a dependable player to this day. So I'm not taking anything away from him. But when you think about it though. And maybe I just kind of had my Jaguars blinders on a little bit. But a guy like A.J. Boye. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Austin, I mean, come on. A.J. Boye, he only had 3 years in Jacksonville. Correct. But remember where he came from before that. He spent 4 years in Houston. So essentially, he had 7 total years in the AFC South. Okay? That's a long time. That's longevity. That's what you're looking for. Now, he only had 1 Pro Bowl, obviously, in 2017. So maybe that hurts him a little bit. I mean, but Doug Marrone was very adamant about saying how good of a player A.J. Boye was. And I've been very adamant about saying how good A.J. Boye was. I don't think he gets a lot of credit, especially last year. I think a lot of people kind of thought, listen, let's be honest. Last year, the defense, it wasn't that good, right? So there was a lot of guys out there that had problems with it. And A.J. Boye kind of got cast to the wolves a little bit. But I thought all things considered last year, I thought A.J. Boye played some pretty good football. I'm sure he's going to do great in that Vic Fangio defense out there in Denver where they rely playing that man coverage where the corners get all the shine in that kind of defense. So best of luck to A.J. Boye unless we see them in the AFC Championship game. But Jonathan Joseph, and in his own right, he's earned it as well. 2 Pro Bowls. And once again, we're talking about a guy who has spent a long time in the AFC South. So Jonathan Joseph wraps up the cornerback list of the all-decade team. Safeties, take it for what you want. You got Michael Griffin from the Tennessee Titans and Kevin Beard from the Tennessee Titans as well. So 2 Titans players rounding up the list here. I could say kicker. Let's get Josh Scobie in there, but hold your applause because there's a guy by the name of Adam Vinatieri. Vinatieri gets it. Mark Mariani from the Tennessee Titans is your kick return, punt return specialist. If I'm not mistaken about Mariani, played against him a couple times. I'm pretty sure that Jeff Fisher, much hated here in Jacksonville, I think the story goes with him is that Mariani was a roommate of one of Jeff Fisher's sons in college. And Jeff Fisher's son said, you got to check this kid out, watch his film. Fisher watched him, brought him on the team, kid makes the team, and now he's an all-decade player for your kick return, punt return specialist. So there you go. Once again, I'm sure Jaguars fans don't really care. Just a little fun fact. And in closing out the list, your punter, not Brian Anger, even though he was taken in the 3rd round, we got Shane Leckler of the Houston Texans, 2013 to 2017. Congratulations to all the all-decade players. Hey, And you know what? And 3 Jaguars, man. Yeah. As my ears are now bleeding, thank you very much, Goose. I'm not mad at it. I'm not really surprised by anything. I don't think anybody really got snubbed. It's like I said, I think Darryl Smith deserved to be mentioned, but I get it, man. He's one of the most underrated players of any NFL team, so he's not getting the all-decade team as well. But that was the all-decade team. And I think, I'll be honest, man, I think me and Brent Martineau were pretty much on the money in terms of what Jaguars are going to make it. So with that being said, you're welcome, everybody.
So something that was kind of going around Twitter while you were talking about that, not to completely divert you from the conversation here.
I wish you would, because I need topics.
So the Los Angeles Times posted this. I've been kind of reading the article a little bit more. It says, breaking, UCLA football players are demanding that a third-party health official be on hand for all football activities to see that protocols for COVID-19 are followed, saying they don't trust Skip Kelly. Yeah.
Chip Kelly.
Oh, Chip Kelly. Oh,
Skip
Chip
Kelly.
Oh, my
Skip
God.
Kelly. No, it's fine. Hey,
Chip
no one cares.
Kelly's
It's fine.
program to act in their best interest.
Oh, Kuz, I don't want to say I told you so, but do you remember here last week when I said that there's no way there's going to be some kind of scandal where a coach is going to keep on playing his players even though they have COVID-19 because you don't have real third parties? You remember that? Well, it's not even the college football season yet, and we're already here. Listen, it's news to me because it's happening so early, but you can see this coming from a mile away, okay? There is going to be an issue with how coaches, whether it's the NCAA or the NFL, treat the COVID-19 cases. Sure, right now, if you're an NFL coach or a college coach, yeah, he's got it. Let's report it, guys. Let's do things by the protocol. Absolutely, for sure. Let's do it. But when the season's on the line, if you're trying to make the playoffs, if you're trying to win a conference championship,
or for a coach, keep your job.
If you're trying to keep your job, if you're trying to go to bowl game, listen, man, I'm not going to break any single news here, but the game of football, whether it's college or the NFL, it's one of the most cutthroat businesses in the entire world, okay? Not only from a player's perspective, but also a coach's perspective. So, once again, I'm not breaking news. I talked about this last week. There is going to be instances where coaches try to bend the rules as much as possible. Once again, college and the NFL, because of their will to win, okay? Because if they don't win, it hurts their resumes, okay? And if your resume gets hurt, you're willing to go around the rules if you have to try to make sure that you have the job security. Now, one could say, well, let's be honest here. If you're an owner, if you're an AD of a university, are you going to think of this season as a real season, or is it kind of be a wash? Like, listen, we understand that some of your players got sick. We're not going to hold that against you, man. Let's just get through this year and let's evaluate ourselves next year and kind of give you a clean slate. Yeah, maybe that's a possibility. But winning is everything, man, okay? And there is no excuses. I know how coaches think, whether it's the NFL or college. And if you're truly concerned about COVID-19 and you're truly concerned about setting the good example for society, you need to have an official third-party tester. You can't hire team doctors. You can't hire team staffs to do this because they're too close to it, man. And I'm not saying every single team's going to be corrupt. Far from it. But I guarantee there's going to be a couple teams out there in college and probably even more teams in the NFL that aren't going to do things the right way. And if they don't do things the right way and they don't report every single case because there's a season on the line, you want to talk about bad optics? What did I talk about in the beginning of the show? I said that the NFL, it's hard for them to get any bigger. But you know what the NFL can do? They can get smaller. They can have bad publicity. They can have bad optics and leave a lot of bad tastes in people's mouths. And if that's going to be the case, and if you lie about COVID-19 tests, man, or you try to fudge the results, let's just say, there's going to be a storm coming your way, man.
Does it surprise you that the players went public with it, I guess? And it's a document essentially that the LA Times, from what I'm reading, they got, but in it says, and they quote, UCLA has perpetually failed us, citing neglect and mismanaged injury cases. They didn't say specifically what.
Yeah.
But that could be, they're not happy with something already, and then that makes them worried about this situation, which is obviously even more intense.
So they didn't directly say COVID-19. It's more of an injury.
Well, they said amid the coronavirus pandemic. So
Sure.
I think that's their main concern, but they're citing or referencing other situations that they believe lead them to this theory.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, what was the question again then?
Are you surprised that the players are actually like letting their names be involved with it instead of it being like internally, I guess, tried to handle?
Well, listen, I don't know what kind of guy Chip Kelly is. I've never met him personally. I've heard stories about Chip Kelly. I've played against Chip Kelly. I don't know him personally. So it's hard for me to speak on what I know. Now, once again, I've heard things about Chip Kelly, and he's not, I would say he's not the, I don't want to say nicest because that means football, get real. He's not the most player-friendly coach, let's just say, okay? From what I've heard, once again. I don't know this as a fact. This is what his former players have told me, okay? He's not a player-friendly coach. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. Because we talk about the modern-day NFL athlete or the modern-day college athlete. This is the most self-aware football players have ever been. Whether it's their health, whether it's things in society, they're hypersensitive to their self-awareness and their health, okay? Which is, hey, I'm not mad at that. That's awesome, guys. You should be hyper-aware of your health. And if you already have guys coming forward saying, listen, man, what we're doing right now in UCLA, it's not good, and we're not even to the season yet, the stakes aren't even on the line yet, and guys are coming forward, it goes to show you, man, just how messed up this whole thing could be down the line. So I get it. UCLA right now, they're the first team, and I'm going to stand by what I said a couple weeks ago. We're going to look back on this season, whether it's college football or the NFL, and we're going to hear stories about guys who try to fudge the results a little bit just for their own benefit, just to try to win games. And then we're going to be left wondering, like, well, what do we do with those coaches now? What do we do with that kind of management? And it's not going to be a great conversation to have. Mark my words.
Struggling to find something awesome for Dad this Father's Day? Let ESPN690 help. We are giving away a $150 gift card to Fogo de Chao. For your chance to win, go to ESPN690.com.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Hello, business owners. We're all in this together. Our company, CMG Jacksonville, knows you need clients to trust your brand. We have the right people and the ideal platforms to help you do that. It's important to advertise now, more than ever. Now, to create an unbreakable loyalty to your brand, CMG Jacksonville can help you make that happen.
Hi, I'm Phil Howard, and they call me Profit Manager here at Cox Media Group because my only focus is to deliver advertising and marketing results for the businesses I work with. Our 8 radio stations and extensive online marketing tools, which include partnerships with Facebook and Google, have done just that for many local businesses. I'm here for you and to help you grow strategically. Call me at 451-2872. That's 451-2872. I want to be your profit manager.
Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has been setting sales records this year and is now expanding to the west side. To staff our new location, we are hosting a career fair Wednesday, June 24th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Holiday Inn on Sumac Road. We will be conducting open interviews for over 40 positions. Bring a valid driver's license and 3 references for consideration. Join our record-setting team at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. We hope to see you Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Holiday Inn on Sumac Road. Jacksonville CJDR is an equal opportunity employer.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get into Arlington today where you can drive away in a new Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 down with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with nothing down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota/June offers for full details.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
From faulty breakers to broken windows to leaky pipes, roofs, and water heaters, homes and businesses around the country can't work until the pros do. That's why Lowe's created credit programs that work for pros. With everyday 5% savings on eligible purchases, plus through October 31st, 60 days promotional financing on your Lowe's business account or extended terms on eligible account receivables. Learn more in-store or online at lowesforpros.com. Putting money back in your pocket. Just one more reason Lowe's is the new home for pros. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Charles, good talking to you. Take care, buddy.
Hey, man, make sure you tell your sweet mother. I sent her a text yesterday for Mother's Day. That lady is a saint. Thank you. Tell your fat daddy absolutely nothing.
Okay, thank you, Charles. I appreciate it.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Golick and Wingo.
That's your first mistake is leaving read receipts on. Don't do that to yourself. Friends out there, reach out to the screen and receive this blessing right now. Turn your read receipts off and vice versa. You don't need that mental warfare in your life.
Where are read receipts?
I'm going to do the Men in Black thing right now. We're just going to completely erase what just happened there from your thought process. Read receipts aren't a real thing to you.
Okay.
And that goes for everyone listening. Cool. Remove it from your life.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
He's looking good. We've organized a couple events where we'll work together, receivers and some backs, and he was throwing to us and he's looking good. He's being that leader that he is. And the arm's looking good. He's throwing it well. So for him, I'm just excited for him to get back in. And he's looking great. I know he's still fueled up, and I know he wants more wins and more rings before he leaves. So that's what everybody's goal is. So we got Miko on the defensive side. We just added phenomenal piece, and TJ and Bud returning. So we're gonna put everything together and offense get that run game going. And just try to do something special.
John Connor, Pittsburgh Steelers. James Conner. John Connor's the guy from Terminator 2 and Terminator 1, maybe, but definitely Terminator 2. He was also a player for the New York Jets who was featured on Hard Knocks that Rex Ryan raved about. A special teams ace, if you will. Called him the Terminator. Go figure. James Conner, talking about Ben Roethlisberger, how great he looks, how good the Steelers are going to do. Not going to lie, Kuz, I'm a big James Conner guy. He's always kind of been the underdog a little bit. I felt like he was kind of thrust into the role a little too soon, obviously, with Le'Veon Bell sitting out. And guess what? I mean, he comes in his first year and absolutely dominates. Like, Le'Veon Bell who? So it's awesome that he can kind of back it up and everything. That's great. But my point is, I need Big Ben to have a bad year this year, and if history is an indicator, well, he got hurt last year, so one would say he's probably going to do good this year, and that's usually how history works. But I need Big Ben to have a bad year because me and Brent Martineau, who are just a couple 1-2 degenerates, if you will, on this show, in terms of betting, have made a bet. Brent Martineau thinks that Ben Roethlisberger will have better numbers this year than Baker Mayfield. Now, probably a pretty fair bet in his eyes, right? But what I'm banking on is the offensive power of the Cleveland Browns. I'm banking on Austin Hooper. I'm banking on, obviously, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt catching balls out of the backfield. And if it really kills you, have Chubb, catch 20 balls per game out of the backfield as well. The guy can handle it. He's a great running back. So I'm literally taking the Browns offense versus the Steelers offense more than I am, who's the better quarterback. I just think that Cleveland's offense right now is too big and too talented to fail. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's some question marks with, is Juju Smith-Schuster that true one receiver? I get last year, Big Ben goes down, Smith-Schuster had some injuries, but is he the true one receiver, or did he rely a lot on Antonio Brown being there, and he was a really good, coveted 2-number receiver? We'll see that. Who else do really the Steelers have right now at the wide receiver position? A lot of young guys got to step up. So I still like my chances. Correction, I love my chances with this bet. I love all my bets right now with Brent Martineau. I think the Patriots are going to have a better year than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call me crazy. And listen, I want the Jaguars to do well, but I'm also a realist, all right? And I don't think Bill Belichick's the type of guy that's going to be tanking for Trevor. I think Bill Belichick's got too much pride. Their defense is firing on all cylinders still. I don't see the Patriots having a worse record than the Jacksonville Jaguars. there's a few bets out there that we'll get to, later on down the line once the season starts. But I'm just sitting where I'm sitting right now. James Conner, you can go ahead and say Big Ben is going to have a great season, but not as good as Baker Mayfield. And you can take that to the bank, everybody. So, obviously, hey, I'm Austin Lane, by the way. My co-host Brent Martineau on vacation, so I'll be kind of driving the show here for the next couple days. Obviously, we have the weekend off, but I'll be here Monday and Tuesday as well. And then we'll take a little break for that 4th of July vacation. And if some breaking news does happen, I am on call. I am in the bullpen.
Technically, I'm taking over for 3 days, too.
You are. Yeah, so it's kind of just, it's me and you. It's a joint effort. And then technically, when Wednesday hits, it's just you.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the greatest hits.
Like third-string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in, and let's see if we can keep this thing going straight.
Exactly. Now, if there is a late-breaking news story during the slotted time, I am on call. I am in the bullpen. Kuz, put out the bat signal. I'll come in here, and I'll break down whatever needs to be broken down. Now, if that's the case, I mean, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't happen because 9 times out of 10, that means it's going to be bad news. It means like a Jaguars player got in trouble or something like that. Like even if Jamal Adams, for some reason, got traded all of a sudden to Jacksonville Jaguars, maybe I'll come in and talk about that. But I'm just saying, if you guys hear me next week after Tuesday,
it's a bad sign.
It's going to be a bad sign. So maybe you don't want to hear me. So let's hope for a nice long vacation, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. But we still got plenty of time left. We still got Monday and Tuesday. We still have the last hour here, so I'm not going anywhere. I got your guys back. But one of the really cool things, like obviously when I have the keys to the show, is I can really take in any direction that I want to. And to be fair, Brent's really cool about me. I can kind of bring whatever I want to the table, but with that being said, I love educating people about new things. We had the famous the TED Talk B breakdown that I did with the African. It wasn't African with a Japanese killer hornet thing. Which, by the way, not sure what happened to those guys. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Was that even real?
About him, to be honest.
Yeah, was that even real?
I think they're just gone now.
I mean,
are we good? Did we clear that up?
No idea. I mean, as far as my grandpa's concerned, he's got no complaints with his beehive, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe there was
did COVID-19 hit them too? I don't know, Coos. Okay, I don't know because
it just went away.
We're living in crazy times right now. Like the government reported seeing aliens a couple of weeks ago, or like a UFO, and we haven't even talked about that on the show.
That's the least crazy news we've heard this year.
We got other things going on. We don't got time for UFOs
there's talking about
right
that
now.
being from Jacksonville. They were saying it was a Florida.
I saw it. Of course they're in Florida, by the way. Why not? Probably in Polk County. But anyway, so with that being said, I'd like to educate people on some kind of off-the-wall topics a little bit, or things that you don't really hear about in the news all the time. And I figured since, today is Freedom Day and the Black Lives Matter movement, it's bigger than ever right now. And regardless of how you feel about it, obviously it's a battle of right versus wrong. And the story that I'm about to share with you, in my eyes, is the ultimate battle of doing the right thing. So what I want to do is I want to go back to the 1968 Summer Olympics that took place, I believe, in Mexico City. Now, if you've heard that date and you've heard those Olympics, you probably know what I'm talking about already. We're talking about a very powerful picture that came after the 200-meter sprint of the Olympic finals, okay? We're talking about two gentlemen, all right? We're talking about two gentlemen by the names, and I got to bring them up here, of John Carlos and Tommy Smith. Now, John Carlos and Tommy Smith were two black athletes representing their country. Obviously, back in 1968, times were tough, okay? We don't have to read a history book to know that, okay? The battle of civil rights and the Black Panther Party and segregation and all that stuff was alive and well in the United States of America. And on the most grandest of stages in Mexico City, John Carlos and Tommy Smith took it upon themselves to stand on a podium and hold one fist in the air wearing a glove and showing, the obviously the Black Power sign, and to try to unify his brothers and sisters in the fight for equal rights and for the fight of right versus wrong. I'm sure everyone probably knows that story. If you don't, obviously do your research. It's one of the most powerful pictures you're ever going to see. And it's a picture that I'm sure you still see to this day, and you should, because it's that moving and it's that big of a deal. But the thing that a lot of people don't realize and don't understand about this story is there's a B side to this, okay? And the B side is a man by the name of Peter Norman. Now, keep in mind, John Carlos and Tommy Smith, they earned first place and third place respectively. Well, there was a guy who earned second place, and that guy's name was Peter Norman, a white gentleman who was from Australia, who can also be seen in that famous picture, obviously, standing on the podium as John Carlos and Tommy Smith hold up their fists proudly. Peter Norman is the guy that's on second place, that has his hands, to his side with his head down, listening to the anthem. What people don't understand is the story of Peter Norman and what he did for that moment. So I'm going through Twitter a couple nights ago, and I come across this thread. And this is the beauty of social media. Everybody has a voice. It doesn't matter where you're from, how much money you make, how many followers you have. Everybody has a voice. And this person's voice, who goes by the name Syrian the Quarantine Sorcerer, also at NotAgain127 at Twitter.
I think people need to realize that, like, if they're gonna have that handle or a handle, there's a potential that somebody's gonna talk about it on the radio.
Well, listen, I have to bring up the guy's name. I want to give the guy props. Yeah. So once again, Syrian the Quarantine Sorcerer. But this is my point. This is an everyday guy. I don't know who this guy is. He doesn't have a lot of followers. He's got 2,000 followers right now, and I'm sure a majority of those followers came from what I'm about to share with you. Well, Syrian the Quarantine Sorcerer on Twitter shares a story. And it's a story of the second place finisher of those Olympics who stood on that podium by the name of Peter Norman. And this is a thread, and I'm just going to read the thread for you guys here, and you guys can make your own judgments. You can take away what you want to take away from it. But it's an amazing story about a guy who I feel like didn't get his just due on that podium, who got second place. So here's the story. And once again, obviously I fact-checked it all, and this all checks out. This is a real story. So I'm going to read it verbatim from Syrian the Quarantine Sorcerer here. And I quote, "Today I learned the white man in this photo was Peter Norman from Australia, who finished second in the 1968 200-meter final. Norman stood in solidarity with American black athletes. It was Norman who suggested when discovered that they only had one pair of gloves, that each athlete wears one of the gloves. Norman asked them if they had any other Olympic project for human rights badges that he could wear so he could show himself in solidarity. They didn't. But another Olympian, white American rower Paul Hoffman, did, and he loaned it to Norman. The patch that Norman wore read Olympic Project for Human Rights, and it can be seen on the podium in the picture. Tommy Smith and John Carlos would be suspended from the Olympic team, stripped of their medals, and expelled from the Olympic Village. The rower Hoffman, who gave the second place guy the badge to wear on his on his jacket, was also kicked off the team of his rowing team because he was accused of conspiring with them. Norman would be ostracized from the Australian team, which he would never compete for the Australian team in the Olympics ever again. He was not able to compete in the 1972 Olympics and was repeatedly given the opportunity to redeem himself by condemning Smith and Carlos for putting their fists up in the air. He refused to do it. He remained ostracized even during the 2000 Sydney Games, and all record of his name and his act was lost in the history books, even though he still holds the Australian record set in 1968 for the 200-meter dash. Peter Norman died suddenly in 2006 of a heart attack, and among those pallbearers who were in Australia for their friend was Tommy Smith and John Carlos. According to reports, John Carlos and Tommy Smith remained friends with Norman up until his very end. In 2012, the Australian government officially apologized to Norman, admitting that what they had done in keeping him off the 72 Olympic team was wrong and recognizing his achievements. And I'll quick read to you the quote that the Olympic Committee of Australia kind of said in their apology. We recognize the extraordinary athletic achievements of the late Peter Norman, who won the silver medal back in the 2,000-meter sprint running event at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics in a time of 20.06 seconds, which still stands as the Australian record to this day. We acknowledge the bravery of Peter Norman in donning an Olympic Project for Human Rights badge on the podium in solidarity with the African-American athletes like Tommy Smith and John Carlos, who gave the Black Power salute. We apologize to Peter Norman for the treatment he received upon his return to Australia and the failure to fully recognize his inspirational role before his untimely death in 2006. And belatedly recognize his powerful role that Peter Norman played in furthering racial equality. That was a statement from the Australian Olympic Committee. At San Jose State University, a statue of Smith and Carlos was erected. Carlos said Norman wanted the second-place podium to be empty so that people could stand up there for themselves and feel in solidarity with Smith and Carlos as he had in 1968. Smith and Carlos begged Norman to let him go on that second-place monument because Norman was an important part of that moment. And Norman once again said, no, I want anybody to walk on that second-place podium and to be in solidarity with what you guys did. Please leave me off of it. So with that being said, man, very cool and very powerful stuff. And I feel a little guilty that I didn't know who Peter Norman was at the time until a couple days ago. But it goes to show you, I guess, that no matter if you're on Twitter and you got 2,000 followers and your name is Syrian, the quarantine sorcerer, no matter if you're Peter Norman, who, you know, people look at that picture and don't even know what that guy did until, you know, moments like this. It's just strong that, listen, anybody can make a difference, man. Anybody. And at the end of the day, you know, to me, it's not a black and white thing. We always talk about it here, and me and Brent stand united on this. It's a right or wrong thing. And the fact that Peter Norman, that guy that looks so plain Jane on that picture, standing on that second-place podium, did all that, was cast out, was ostracized for having John Carlos and Tommy Smith's back, that he gave up a career, he gave up endorsements, he gave up money, he gave up a means to take care of his family because what he did, he thought he was doing for the greater good, and what he did, he thought he was doing it because he was on the side of being right. And guess what? He was. And eventually, he got his just due by the Olympic Committee of Australia. Now, yeah, obviously it came too late because he didn't live enough to see it. He didn't live enough to see, you know what? What I did made a difference. What I did was recognized. What I did, even my peers now in the Olympics can understand that. Unfortunately, he passed away before he got his apology. But, you know, to his family, to his extended family, whoever it is, you know, that's the ultimate thing. And he may have got second place that day on that podium. But to me, man, that second place medal, that silver medal, doesn't even come close to the powerful stuff that guy did after he got that medal and during that podium event.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A widely scattered evening shower or thunderstorm, then clearing skies overnight tonight, dropping to near 70 degrees. Partly sunny, hot and humid for your Saturday with an isolated afternoon storm, but many spots stay dry and highs from 90 to 95. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now, for a limited time, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park with some good news. We've been having a lot of fun helping our customers get the cars they want, and we know it's only going to get better. Get this, Chevy has eased the requirements for 0% financing. So if you hesitated last month, now's the time to come on in and take advantage of some great offers during Gordon's Hot Summer event. We were just voted the #1 new and used car dealer for the 2nd year in a row. Come and see why. Gordon Chevy on the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard in Orange Park, or GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Reliant Roofing, Solar, and Hurricane Shutters is pleased to announce its 4th annual Every Shingle Heart initiative. This year, they will give a free roof to one healthcare worker or first responder in Northeast Florida. The individuals who've been making the ultimate sacrifice over the last several months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reliant wants to return the favor to someone in these fields. To nominate someone, you can visit their website, ReliantRoofing.com/Every Shingle Heart. Nominations will open June 15th until July 31st. The recipient chosen will be announced on August 15th, 2020.
Come out to Hamburger Mary's Monday, June 29th at 7:30 p.m. for Ham Bingo, benefiting Recovery Rescues Incorporated, a nonprofit wildlife rehab and sanctuary. $10 gets you 11 rounds of bingo, and you can meet, touch, and get your picture with live animal ambassadors, Bailey the Lemur, Romeo the Skunk, and more. All proceeds will benefit Recovery Rescues Incorporated in their goal of building a wildlife hospital on site. Donate directly, get more info, and book your private Meet the Animals tour at facebook.com/Recovery Rescues Inc.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ramona Pavilion, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more. There'll be concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ramona Pavilion on Ramona Boulevard, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax and ESPN690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN690.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Gonna give me some of that
Kuz.
It's unreal.
That's the most impressive thing Kuz has ever done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here on the show.
That was very nice.
It's the best use of Star 690 ever.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
From First Take to your radio.
Everybody is out because of the coronavirus. All the conditions that are restrictive to one is restrictive to all. And if somebody was smart enough to be dedicated during this time, more so than somebody else, those were probably going to be the champions any damn way. Get over it.
First Take, your take from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Now, back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and in the TuneIn Radio app.
From the people I talked to today, the most notable thing was how upset the owners are at this proposal. They did not think the players would go to 70 games. And I've known for a month now, there are enough owners out there who really believe they're better off not playing at all than playing 60 or 70 games at 100% prorated salary with no fans in the stands. but that's short-sighted, at least to me. The worst possible scenario is no baseball this year. The only way to get out of this is to get the players back on the field, play 65 games right to the end. Every team has a chance, and play a 16-team playoff race in October. It could be really, really good, but it's not going anywhere unless we find that middle ground.
ESPN's Tim Kurchin. Kuz, when was that audio from? I mean, it's recent, right? Probably last night.
Yeah, recent. Yeah. Just kind of talking on ESPN about the negotiations.
Sure, it was yesterday. And now Tim Kurchin doesn't really sound confident, does he? And we had 5 players today from the Philadelphia Phillies contract COVID-19. So now they're quarantined.
By the way, the Lightning shutting down their stadium as well over in Tampa.
Tampa Bay Lightning, the hockey team?
Yeah, hockey.
Really?
I know it's not, but all in that area.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, that's crazy in itself. Listen, man, Kuz, I'm so exhausted with this, okay? Because let's be honest right now. Sports topics, yeah, I mean, dude, we have fun on this show, and I'm not worried about not finding the topics to talk about. We're always going to find stuff to talk about. For instance, the last segment I thought was great, man. You know, we learned about that powerful moment on the podium with 2 guys putting up their fists in the air in first and third place. Well, just as important was the guy that was standing in second place. So we got stuff to talk about. I'm not worried about that. But I'm saying I'm exhausted, man, okay? Because this doesn't seem like argument. It doesn't seem like they're going back and forth and trying to have a common ground. I feel like I'm watching a 16-year-old girl go through her first breakup, and it's just the emotions. It's a roller coaster, and I want to get off the ride, okay? MLB, I'll say it again, figure it out, okay? But it's hard for me to say, well, I'm excited for baseball. Oh, now baseball's not coming back. Oh, baseball's back on again. Dude, I don't know anymore, okay? And I'm tired of getting my hopes up. Go ahead.
Would it be worse if... so yesterday, right? You and Brent were talking about the fact that this is being played out through the media, right? Like it's a very public argument and back and forth. Would it be worse if we just didn't hear anything?
No.
We just weren't really sure what was going on, but we just knew they were in negotiations?
Listen, we haven't heard anything from the NHL. Now, granted, that's a little different, right? Because they're already in season. They're trying to come back a la the NBA. So it's different. But no one's stressing out right now about the NHL. You know why? Because I have no idea what's happening. All I know right now is that the Detroit Red Wings are probably going to get the number 1 pick. Hallelujah. That's all I have to look forward to right now. That and Steve Yzerman being the new GM. That's about it. With this baseball stuff, man, there's only so much we can take. You know, like, to this point, please keep your mouth shut, okay? And if you don't come back this year, then so be it. I'm literally to the point right now where I hope they announce that they're not coming back and they're just done with it, as opposed to having another month where it's just drawn out back and forth.
And we got them saying this is a critical week for the MLB. It's like, all right. Well.
How many critical? There's 52 weeks in the year. Right now, we're at like week number 12 being a critical week for you guys. So let's go ahead and make up our minds real quick and let's get on with it. Because guess what? We got horse racing coming back, okay? And I'm excited for that. Not really, but I don't care. But hopefully we have football coming back. But baseball, man, just take care of your business, what you got to take care of. Nobody needs to see your dirty laundry. No one needs to see your Regina George burn book talking to both sides, players and Manfred. Heed my words, please. I think we got Steven on the line here. And apologies, by the way, too, for those of you that were trying to call in earlier in the show. We had some technical difficulties, and you know how I roll. I can't handle them because I haven't had a badge to get in the studio for like the past 4 months.
You don't want to know what the difficulties were?
The phone wasn't hung up right.
I had it set to automatically block calls by accident.
Why is that?
I didn't even know it was an option, but it's a button on the phone list.
Are you trying to ghost somebody or what?
I guess.
What are you doing?
I guess.
It's going to be a special Father's Day for you, isn't it? You trying to hide something here, Coos?
I don't know. I blocked everybody, and that's what was going on.
All right, so with that being said, though, the phone lines are turned back on. Coos is done ghosting people. If you want to give us a call, that's *690. And Coos, what's the other number? Because I don't know it.
904-362-9901.
I've worked here for how long? Don't know. Can you read it one more time, please?
904-362-9901.
All right. We can talk about anything. We can get weird. We can talk about Jaguars, whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm all ears. Speaking of talking about stuff that I'm all ears about, I assume it's going to go in the wrestling direction. We are joined now by our, one of our regular guests here on the show. What's up, Steven? Steven, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm taking it one day at a time is all I could say.
That's all you can do, brother. That's all you can do. I like it, man.
I'm kind of hurt, though. I call almost every day, and you haven't heard from me in days, and you didn't think hell froze over?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. and I mean, between you and South Beach Gary, I was getting concerned, but it turns out Coos can't operate the phones right, which is like 85% of his job. But it is what it is, though, man. We're past it. We're moving on, and we're getting better on the show. What's your question,
I know,
dude?
And my tweet earlier actually stumped you. You didn't know what to say about it.
Which one was that? I don't check the mentions.
About if the season doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah, great call, man. I wish I had an answer for that. I really did. I have no idea what the NFL would do with the player's tenure if the season was canceled. I have no idea because you can make an argument for both sides. So it was a great question, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. I stumped you.
Yeah,
but anyways, my question for AEW, what do you think about this Brian Cage and Taz mix-up? You got to admit, it's kind of like Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
It is, man. Listen, Taz has been one of those old-school guys. He's kind of the who's who of like the hardcore wrestling, I guess, if you will. And then John Mox, obviously. I mean, listen, there's a video of Mox literally taking a skill saw and cutting his own face. Can I even say that on the radio? Well, I just did. He took a skill saw and cut his face with it.
I think you're allowed.
When he used to do like backyard wrestling, right? So these two guys are hardcore to say the least. Taz helps out because obviously Cage, I'm not sure what kind of what kind of mic skills he brings to the table, but it's an interesting matchup because what do? Obviously, Mox right now is the hot thing. He's the champion, but you have a guy in Cage who is this behemoth. This guy that you keep on pushing and pushing that, no man can stop him. He's a machine. So it begs the question of, do you keep the belt on Mox or do you put it on Cage? I guess you can say whose status, whose reputation gets hurt more if you lose that match. That's why Fighter Press is going to be so great.
Oh, yeah, because, I saw Brian Cage in Impact Wrestling. Basically, He's like Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, pick or choose on that one. And
sure.
Rey Mysterio rolled into one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually seen him do the 619 in Impact.
Dude, and that's the thing, too. So my friends actually saw him staying at a hotel, and they couldn't believe how jacked the guy is. I'll say this about Brian Cage. For as muscular and just obviously 2% body fat, the guy is absolutely shredded to the gills, right? But he's athletic as all get out, which makes zero sense to me because mostly guys like that, they can't move well. They end up tearing things. I'm reminded of Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner he had the physique and everything, but he'd always get hurt because he was that muscular. So it is crazy to see a guy like Cage, a.k.a. the Machine, being able to move what he does. Steven, I have one question for you, man, then we'll let you go. This past Wednesday, a female wrestler by the name of Abandoned debuted. Your thoughts about her?
Oh, man, I was awestruck. That was pretty good.
Well put, man. Steven, thanks for calling in, dude. All right, so, Kuz, we talked about this during the break a little bit. I have to address it now. And Tony Khan, I hope you're watching, because I have a bone to pick with you, okay? Wrestling is my go-to thing with my son, man. We both love it. Obviously he's emotionally invested into it. He thinks everything, that happens is life or death. And I just watch it because I'm essentially reliving my childhood. I'm living vicariously through my son. And my son has his favorites, and he boos the bad guys. He can't stand Chris Jericho. He loves Darby Allin. He loves the Best Friends. He's kind of on the fence about Hangman Page. So, my son is invested into it. Every Wednesday night, we're watching AEW at the Lane residence, much to the chagrin of my wife. This past Wednesday, AEW releases this wrestler named Abandoned. Now, keep in mind, I've seen her wrestle before for AEW. She had a dark match. They call it a match that doesn't go on the air. I knew who she was, and I was a huge fan. But you want to talk about the violence and being upped a little bit. This girl looks like if you mixed Hellraiser from the movie Hellraiser, you mixed her with the girl from The Ring, and then you mixed her with the girl from Evil Dead. That's what we're talking about with abandon, okay? And I could tell my son was shook up about it because my son is super vocal when he watches wrestling, and I love it, dude. I'm with him. He's cheering. He's saying, oh, I don't like her. I like her. My son stood in front of the TV when Abandon came on and just stood there with his jaw open like, what is this? And I knew right away, and I turned to my wife. I'm like, this kid is going to have the worst nightmares now because of this female wrestler. And lo and behold, he hasn't been the same since. So Tony Khan, you better put out that, TV MA warning because my son cannot sleep now. And I'll be honest, I was freaked out. She's that good, man. She's that talented. I had trouble sleeping. So if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, check out AEW's Abandon and you'll see what I'm talking about. Literally, the craziest looking girl by design, obviously, and the scariest looking girl, once again, by design, you're ever going to see. I think we have another call on the line. We have another Steven, back-to-back Stevens right now?
Back-to-back Steves.
Back-to-back Steve. Steve, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, doing good. Listen, I just want to talk a little bit about the Brian Cage-Taz team up and give my opinion on it. I heard the last guy compare the Paul Heyman-Brock Lesnar pairing. Here's the difference. Taz needs to learn that it's not about him. He's over already.
Yeah.
His job is to get Brian Cage over, and that's where they're missing the boat there. Where Paul Heyman knows the spotlight goes on Brock. He knows that it's his role. That's where Taz needs to get better on that mic to get Brian Cage over.
Steve, that's a great point, man. Thanks for calling the show. And was it Steven or Steve? I don't want to mispronounce.
Steve.
Steve, okay. Steve, great call, man. And I do agree with you there. When Brock Lesnar was always in the ring, you knew Brock Lesnar, okay? And Paul Heyman was the advocate, as he said, right? I mean, Taz being a former wrestler himself and being a very successful wrestler, yeah, I mean, Taz still brings something to the table. So I get your point right now where the job should be bringing Brian Cage over. And that's the main goal right now because he has the physique, he has the skill set to be great. I think it's kind of like the Lance Archer effect right now. If you've ever seen Lance Archer in New Japan Wrestling, the guy's got mic skills for days. The guy can hold his own with anybody, I think, on the microphone. Now, obviously, maybe like a Chris Jericho or somebody like that could talk circles around him, or a Cody Rhodes. But Lance Archer is uber talented on the microphone, obviously in the ring as well. But they give Jake Roberts to Lance Archer. Not because Lance Archer can't handle his own mic skills, because, well, Jake Roberts is a name, and Jake Roberts can put Lance Archer over. And I think, for the most part, Roberts did a great job of doing that, right? I mean, we saw Jake Roberts. All of a sudden, we tie him to Lance Archer. It's a winning combination. I agree with you with Taz, where if you're Taz right now, your main objective is to try to put Cage over because the guy is a behemoth. He is a juggernaut. And the biggest thing right now is to not really steal the spotlight, but it's to showcase that. Showcase the violence, especially against a guy like John Mox. So I agree with you there, Steve. Thank you for the phone call. Little wrestling talk on a Friday. I'm definitely not mad at that. And Tony Khan, man, please. Just next time, text me or something before Abandon comes on so I can get my son just, the old cover over the eyes because he can't handle another night of watching that lady come out. It's so freaky. I showed the pictures, man.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
All the nightmares. But hey, that's the level of professional wrestling, man. You're either in it or you're out of it. 690 when we come back.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN690.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with zero down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with zero down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
Everyone's loving what Diamonds Direct is doing right now. It's the best stimulus plan ever. 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase with no money down. It's Diamonds Direct's way of helping you make your money go further as we all look forward to better days. Just pick any item in Diamonds Direct showcases. Get the amazing value price you know we're known for. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. That means a $6,000 designer ring is yours for just $100 a month. This makes everything more affordable at a time when we need it most. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry. Take the price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. You can even finance the sales tax. Celebrate summer, celebrate life, celebrate love with Diamonds Direct's most spectacular offer ever. 5 years, zero interest with nothing down. Now for a limited time on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway.
If you don't have Safe Touch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at Safe Touch Security. At Safe Touch, that is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At Safe Touch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the Safe Touch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and Safe Touch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every Safe Touch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive Safe Touch parts and labor agreement at no charge. Safe Touch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. No, you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. Safe Touch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
Unlike other jewelry stores, at Beard's Diamonds, nobody is paid on commission.
We don't believe in the commission structure.
That's Beard's Diamonds' second generation Ben Lupo.
We don't want our employees picking and choosing who they help or judging which customer is going to spend the most. That's not what we're about. We are not just about selling. We are about helping. If you deliver a quality product, listen to the consumer's needs, and help them make the best decision, then what do you have to sell? The diamond will speak for itself.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center and at beardsdiamonds.com. If you don't have Safe Touch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at Safe Touch Security. At Safe Touch, that is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At Safe Touch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the Safe Touch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and Safe Touch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every Safe Touch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive Safe Touch parts and labor agreement at no charge. Safe Touch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. No, you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. Safe Touch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for all you do. Visit Grainger.com for resources that can help as you create your recovery plan. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and school just isn't for you, earn while you learn by enrolling in the Clara White Mission Workforce Training, designed for 16 to 24-year-olds and no experience necessary. National certifications include culinary arts, OSHA, HAZWOPER, forklifting, environmental training, and more. These programs are customized for low income and disadvantaged. Make your way to the Clara White Mission Training Center at 613 West Ashley Street. Call 904-354-4162 or visit clarawhitemission.org.
Reliant Roofing, Solar, and Hurricane Shutters is pleased to announce its 4th annual Every Shingle Heart Initiative. This year, they will give a free roof to one healthcare worker or first responder in Northeast Florida. The individuals who've been making the ultimate sacrifice over the last several months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reliant wants to return the favor to someone in these fields. To nominate someone, you can visit their website, reliantroofing.com/Every Shingle Heart. Nominations will open June 15th until July 31st. The recipient chosen will be announced on August 15th, 2020.
Been dreaming of Subway tile and butcher block counters? Outdoor kitchens and pavers?
Oh, honey.
The weather's great and it's time to knock out those nagging home projects with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Borrow up to 90% loan to value and pay no closing costs. Best of all, we'll give you a free wheelbarrow. That's right, a free wheelbarrow. Apply today at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Just please, no more shiplap.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
Call Zero Res. They are offering to clean and protect every surface in your home for 25% off. Also nominate a family in need, and Zero Res will clean carpets in one home each day for absolutely free. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You like money. I suggest you get your voice looked at.
It's allergy season.
It seems to be always allergy season, Stugatz.
That's because it is. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Give the guys a call. Grab your cell phone and call *690. This is ESPN 690.
Look, it's one of the you walk into this job and you get to coach Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I don't know how many coaches have that opportunity to coach a player of his caliber, and so the big thing is for us is. Yeah, I mean, he's a running back, and he can do everything. But to label him strictly a running back, is an injustice to him. And so, I think a guy like Christian McCaffrey, he can play literally any position on the football field. And I think it's going to be to our advantage, to be able to do that.
Okay. So I have to guess who that was. Easy money says Matt Rule, but I'm not going there. So it's a coach. It's not a player. It's not Teddy Bridgewater. So whoever, and listen, I don't know the guy's name, but it's the offensive coordinator or the game. I forgot what the title was he had. I think it was like the quarterback game plan coach from the LSU Tigers, who's now the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. I don't know his name.
Joe Brady.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Is that the guy? I wasn't going to cheat, but yeah, I got you. I mean, Chris McCaffrey gave it up. I was going to say Matt Rule, though.
Well, that's why I was like, this was going to be kind of tough because he talks about being a coach, which is going to throw you off a little bit.
Well, I don't know the guy's name. I don't know the offensive coordinator's name.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, too.
Yeah, that one hurts a little bit. By the way, nice little Adam and Eve commercial here, rocking for ESPN 690. It's good to see that we're reaching a new demographic.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, all this wrestling talk, and all of a sudden the sponsors start coming. Brett and Martin, I hope you're listening to that. We got a couple things on the text line here, a couple things on social media. Jacob Mayo, Lane, you think Khan cares what you think? It's called satire, dude. What more do you want me to say to you? No, I don't think Khan cares what I think, nor should he. It's satire. Have you listened to the show before? Okay, so you got your piece in, Jacob Mayo. Dennis Utley. Will AEW do like they have with other, I guess, wrestlers he forgot to put in, where they have recently hyped new guys and then have them lose their first big match? Talking about Brian Cage and John Mox. I mean, essentially what you're asking me is, do I think Brian Cage is going to lose against John Mox? I think right now, honestly, I think the smart money would be taking Mox But obviously, I can see it going both ways. And also, he agrees with me, Dennis Utley. I think he's a Murray State racer as well, for sure. Agree with and by the way, I kept calling her Abandon. Abaddon is her name, not Abandon. So I apologize. And listen, the last person I want to make upset is her. Okay, because
could you imagine if she showed up to your house to tell you said her name wrong?
Dude, I'm trying to picture if she walked through the studio right now, I would be like, listen, you kind of know my fear of clowns, right? And we've told this story before on the show. One of my very first things I did in the community was work for the Ronald McDonald House. And my teammates knew that clowns rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And Ronald McDonald, that pompous person, snuck up behind me and scared me. And I was absolutely frightened. And I didn't want to work with kids anymore after that. I wasn't going to do it. It's for a great cause, but I can't get over my fear of clowns. Still haven't watched the new It series yet on those movies. Haven't watched them yet.
So back in the day when the people were dressing up as clowns and just like standing in parks, that was a pretty rough time.
So rough. And my mom got me a clown for my birthday, like my 6th or 7th year of life. So scary, man. Like, you had me on VHS. I won't come out of the corner. I'm like, just tell him to leave so I can go back to playing tag. I don't want to do anything with this dude. So, Abaddon. I'm sorry about, I probably mispronounced it again. Whatever, I'm sorry. Okay? You're scary. You're trying to be scary, and it is what it is. Cruz, real quick, though. We're on the verge of Father's Day here this weekend. Obviously, you're not a father that you know of yet. Best advice that your dad ever gave you? Do you have any advice that your dad ever gave you?
Yeah, he gave me a lot, but I just feel like it was more like a lead by example type situation. Like, like the corny, like, dadisms, right? Like rub some dirt on it, stuff like that. It's not, but like it was just more leading from example, I think. Okay. Following and seeing the way that things are done the right way, I guess.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of hard myself, and obviously my biological father, he split ways when I was very young. We're back in, contact now and everything's good. But like growing up, it was my stepdad, who we talk about on the show all the time. His name is Mark, or we call him the Bison, if you will. And I was going to actually probably have him call in today, but I think he's working at the mill, so unfortunately he couldn't do that. He's an interesting cat, man. He's awesome. I love that dude to death. And he always had some great one-liners because his dad was like this old school, served in Vietnam, was a paratrooper, just the all-out badass, right? And I never got to meet his father, but I think a lot of his father kind of rubbed off on some of the one-liners and everything like that. But like people always say that I get my kindness and my open-mindedness from my mom, and I get my demeanor, my just, I guess, calm, laid-back personality from my stepdad, Mark, a.k.a. the Bison. So I can take it in a lot of directions, but it's funny. The one thing he used to always tell me before I went out, and this kind of happened more in high school than it was in middle school, but when I would go out, hang out with my friends or whatever, he always told me two things. He said, be cool and keep your nose clean. Now, be cool, pretty self-explanatory. I always try to live by those words. I still live by those words till today. You know what? I'll probably get a tattoo of me someday because it meant that much to me in his words. Now, keep your nose clean. Take it a couple ways, right? And I never really confronted him about what he meant, but needless to say, whether it was getting in trouble or obviously doing some stuff of the illegal kind, the grade 3-2 narcotic kind, I never did that either. So I also took his advice there, and I'm thankful for that advice that he instilled in me. And I guess with that being said, man, great Friday. You got any Father's Day plans, Coos?
I was going to go golfing, I think.
There you go. Treat yourself, man.
I mean, yeah, it's not really my day, I'm no dad yet.
Are you going to call your dad, though?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Are you guys going to hang out? Is he around?
No, he's up in Philly.
Oh, in Philly. Yeah. Give him a call, give him a FaceTime, give him a Zoom call. Say what's up. Well, to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. You guys are the real MVPs. I'm Austin Lane. That's Justin Coos. And the famous words of my stepdad, a.k.a. the Bison, you guys be cool this weekend and keep your nose clean. We'll see you guys next week.
Is the summer of 2020 the year you upgrade her diamond? After all we've been through this year, can you think of a better way to make 2020 a year she will always remember in a positive way? Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best ever selection of large, rare diamonds and our most aggressive